Chapter 2894. Terrifying phantoms surrounded them. Each of them emitted a powerful aura, suppressing the humans until their faces turned pale. Even the invincible king swallowed his saliva, unable to resist at all. So powerful, too powerful. These primordial geniuses were too terrifying. They could already kill invincible kings. Indeed, the older generation of the human race sighed. They had to admit that their bloodlines were heaven-defying, and their strength was terrifying. I'm afraid there aren't many in the younger generation of the human race who can compete with them. These human powerhouses trembled in fear. But Lin Xian wasn't afraid at all. He looked at the primordial geniuses in front of him calmly. You want to challenge me? Fine, I'll give you a chance. But think carefully. The outcome of challenging me is death. As he finished speaking, a biting cold aura erupted from his body and shot into the clouds. Do you think you can kill us? Without a greater success divine body, you're nothing. One of the dragons stood out. He had a ferocious dragon head, and his body was covered in scales. Behind him, there was a huge tail that was incomparably ferocious. I can kill you in 3 moves. This dragon's prodigy was incomparably domineering. Watch carefully. My first move is to die. The dragon's prodigy roared as the blood in his body rumbled. Dragon blood surged. Streams of dragon blood appeared and formed swords of killing intent. Together with the fists of the dragon race prodigy, the swords of killing intent continued to smash forward. So terrifying. Each killing sword could easily kill an invincible king. The dragon's prodigy was too terrifying. Heavens, his cultivation realm is only that of a peerless almighty, but he can actually release such terrifying combat strength. The human cultivators were terrified. The 10,000 ancient races sneered. As expected of the dragon's prodigy, he was indeed powerful. That brat was definitely dead. This time, there was at least 29,000 points of ancient power. Die, brat. The dragon's prodigy revealed a sinister smile, as his cold eyes emitted a terrifying killing intent. He realized that he had overestimated his opponent. Perhaps this attack could kill him. Whoosh. In the face of such a terrifying attack, Lin Xian didn't move at all. He only attacked when the other party was 10 meters away from him. He was very fast. In an instant, he retracted his palm and stood with his hands behind his back. So much, so that no one could see clearly how he had made his move. Boom! Boom! In the sky, the killing swords formed from dragon blood exploded, turning into a rain of blood that scattered in the sky. The dragon's prodigy's body split into 2 from the middle. With a thud, he fell to the ground. What? Everyone's expression stiffened in disbelief. He was dead. An incomparably terrifying genius of the dragon race, an attack that could easily pierce through an invincible king, had been neutralized just like that? Moreover, even the prodigy's prodigy. How was this possible? Damn it. Did Lin to the prodigy too? It was too fast. He didn't see clearly what kind of divine ability he had used. He didn't know. It seemed like a casual attack, but these people went crazy. The human experts widened their eyes in disbelief. The primordial creatures were even more shocked. Especially the primordial prodigies. They looked as if they had seen a ghost. That was a prodigy of the dragons. He was so powerful that even the older primordial kings might not be his match. However, he was killed in a single move. What was going on? Damn it, what trick did this brat play? Sneak attack, he must have sneak attacked. Damn it, he couldn't have used a sacred weapon, right? These people's faces were also full of shock, because they also didn't see clearly what had happened. Lin Xian stood with his hands crossed. He looked at the corpse of the dragon's prodigy below with a cold smile. Then he looked up and swept his gaze forward. Who else wants to challenge me? Hurry up and come. Everyone fell silent when he said that. No one from the 10,000 Archean races made a sound. No one stepped forward. Many primordial creatures retreated. They had no choice. The other party was too powerful. They originally thought that the other party was an ant without a greater success divine body that they could easily kill. But now it seemed that they were wrong. Even if the other party didn't have a greater success divine body to rely on, his true strength was still very terrifying. Damn it, I don't believe it. He can't be so strong. He must have used some kind of forbidden technique. A prodigy of the Yuxia race snorted. I'll kill you. The moment he came up, he unleashed his fiendish night realm and enveloped the entire space. No matter how strong the other party's attack was, he would first use his strongest defense. Then, he waved the long spear in his hand and thrust it out. Die, brat. The power of the spear was terrifying. It wasn't any weaker than the previous prodigy of the dragon's prodigy. The Wuxia race was also a very terrifying race. They were extremely cruel and violent, and they were very powerful. Seeing this scene, the human warriors held their breaths again. Meanwhile, the primordial prodigies all widened their eyes and stared at Lin Xian. They wanted to see clearly what kind of ultimate move the other party was using. In the next moment, Lin Xian attacked. When the Wuxia prodigy arrived, he threw out a punch. This punch was extremely violent. It was like the fist of the god of war. It engulfed the sky and swept up the divine flames. Boom! One punch was enough to shatter heaven and earth. The Wuxia's fiendish night realm suddenly shattered. The divine spear was blasted into pieces. And so was the body of the Wuxia prodigy. Dead again. Another primordial prodigy was killed in one move. This scene left everyone dumbfounded. The primordial prodigies were the same. They saw clearly that the other party didn't use a forbidden weapon. Nor was it a weapon of a sage. Instead, he threw out a punch. Damn it. When did this brat's 9-yang divine body become so powerful? Damn it. Don't tell me he still has a greater success divine body? The primordial prodigies were going crazy. They quickly retreated and put a safe distance between them. There was no choice. It was too suspicious. 1 pound. The dark red divine dragon sneered. A bunch of idiots. If he really has a greater success divine body, do you think you can survive? You probably can't even withstand a glance from him. As he said that, he put away the bodies of the dragons and Wuxia prodigies. He could make a good tonic soup later. Pfft. As soon as he said that, the human warriors' mouths twitched. The primordial prodigies were so angry that they vomited blood. What? Is he really going to eat us? Damn it, he's treating us as food. This was intolerable. This brat is too strange. Let's hurry back and find out more about him first. The primordial beasts were unwilling to stay any longer. They decided to leave first, because the other party was too terrifying. They turned around, but a voice was heard. Wait, did I say you can leave? As soon as the voice was heard, the primordial prodigies froze. Then they turned around and roared angrily. Damn brat, how dare you stop us? Chapter 2895. Do you want to die? Who do you think you are? Do you really think you can fight against all of us? At most, we'll attack together. Can you fight against us? The archaic sky prides roared crazily. The other party had killed 2 of their companions on the spot. Not only that, he even wanted to stop them. The other party was too arrogant. Lin Xian sneered. You guys are so arrogant. Didn't you think that you went overboard when you wanted to kill me? What's wrong now? Can't take it anymore? I'm just using the same method to return the favor to you. Lin Xian walked forward and stared at the sky pride from the Silver Clan. You were the one who said you could take my head with one hand, right? Alright, I'll stand here and wait for you. Let's see if you have the ability to do so. Damn it. The sky pride from the Silver Clan changed his expression. Lin Xian was targeting him. This was not a good thing. Previously, he had said confidently that the other party was an ant that he could kill with one hand. However, after watching the previous 2 battles, he changed his mind. The other party was strong and definitely not weaker than him. Even if he went all out, he was not confident that he could kill the other party. Therefore, what he said about taking the other party's head with one hand didn't count at all. Seeing that the other party didn't speak, Lin Xian sneered. Why? You don't dare? I heard that the Silver Clan is called the Uncrowned King. Is that all you have? Oh, that's right. Your ancestor was killed by a human with one punch. I guess a junior like you can't do much. Get lost. Su Chen waved his hand impatiently. Kid, you're courting death. The Sky Pride from the Silver Clan was enraged when he heard that. Let's fight then. I'm not afraid of you. The Sky Pride stood out. Silver light bloomed on his body, turning into a terrifying mountain that pressed down on the void. Although the other party was strong, he was very confident in himself. The Silver Clan had a strong physique and terrifying bloodline power. So what if the other party had the 9 yang divine body? He didn't think that his physique would lose to the other party. Kid, it'll let you know that the Silver Clan is not to be trifled with. The Sky Pride of the Silver Race said coldly. Lin Xian waved his hand and stretched out one of his hands while the other remained behind his back. How about this? I'll give you a handicap of 1 hand. 1 hand will take off your head. The other party had said this before, but Lin Xian was going to do it. He wanted to use his most powerful stance to suppress his opponent. The genius of the Silver Tribe was so angry that he was trembling. How dare the other party look down on him? With a furious roar, his body shone with boundless light. Brat, today is the day you die. With a sway of his body, he tore through the void and charged over. In an instant, he rushed in front of Lin Xian. He stretched out his palm and slammed it down, causing the void to collapse. The silver light on his body soared into the clouds, forming a silver storm that danced in the sky. The experts of the human race were breathing heavily. They were pressed to the ground, unable to resist. It was too terrifying. This palm strike truly had the power to destroy the heavens and earth. Was this the Bai Ying clan? He was too powerful. As expected of the uncrowned king, even those ancient life forms were trembling in fear. Looking at the palm strike, their faces were full of fear. That brat was dead meat. He had definitely underestimated the Bai Ying clan. The title of uncrowned king was not for nothing. Gee, the archaic Sky Pride snorted coldly. The people of the human race also felt their scalps go numb. Su Chen narrowed his eyes. To be honest, the other party was very powerful. He had surpassed the Sky Prides of the human race. There were probably not many among the younger generation of the human race who could compete with him. The title of uncrowned king was indeed well-deserved. However, it was a pity that the other party had encountered him. In the next moment, he stretched out his palm and grabbed in front of him. With a grab, he directly pierced through the silver light that filled the sky. On his palm, there was the 9 suns divine fire and golden runes flickering. It was as if the palm of the golden god of war was grabbing in the air. Boom! Boom! The silver light was broken, and the terrifying power was shattered. The golden palm directly grabbed the head of the Bai Ying clan. With a crack, the other party's neck was broken. Poof! Silver blood splattered, and the head of the Bai Ying clan prodigy was forcefully torn off. Ah! The Bai Ying clan prodigy roared crazily as blood flowed continuously. His body did not have a head, but he still charged towards Lin Xian. However, he was sent flying by Lin Xian's kick, directly disappearing into the clouds. His head was lifted into the air by Lin Xian, and he let out a miserable cry. Damn brat, I'm going to kill you. The head of the Bai Ying clan prodigy opened his mouth and spat out a silver stream. It was like a silver sword that flew directly towards Lin Xian's head. He wanted to cut off Lin Xian's head too. With a clang, 2 balls of golden light burst out from Lin Xian's eyes and directly sent the silver flying sword flying. In the next moment, he exerted force in his palm, and the other party's head was covered in cracks. He was on the verge of death, as if he would split open at any time. Looking at this scene, everyone was stunned. Their faces were filled with fear. In one move, the other party had removed the head of the Bai Ying clan prodigy. Heavens! They originally thought that Lin Xian was just saying that to suppress the other party's arrogance. However, they did not expect that the other party was not just saying that. The other party had used actual actions to prove his words. He had removed the other party's head with 1 hand. Impossible! Damn it, this is absolutely impossible. How could this brat be so powerful? The other prodigies of the 10,000 Archean races were terrified, as if they had seen a ghost. The Archean creatures knelt on the ground, trembling. The experts of the human race were also stunned. Was this the strength of the human race's top prodigy? He was too powerful, far surpassing the other Archean prodigies. The Bai Ying clan prodigy screamed crazily as his head was lifted into the air. Damn it, I don't believe it. He was really crazy. He was so powerful that he had reached 30,000 Archean power. Among the younger generation of the Archean era, he was an extremely terrifying existence. One had to know that an ordinary holy sun only had 18,000 to 18,000 Archean power. Even the top holy princes only had over 20,000 Archean powers. But he had 30,000 Archean power. He had far surpassed the human race's prodigies. Therefore, he did not take any human prodigies seriously. But now, the other party had removed his head in one move. This made him unable to believe it. Could it be that the other party's strength had exceeded 30,000 Archean power? Moreover, it should be far beyond his. How could there be such a terrifying existence among the younger generation of the human race? Lin Xian sneered. Now, do you still dare to challenge me? Damn brat, I was too careless. Let go of me, and we will fight to the death again. I will definitely not lose to you. The Baiying clan prodigy roared crazily. He could not accept this fact. Lin Xian sneered. Let you go. You are too naive. I said that you can fight me, but the price is death. Chapter 2896. You want to kill me? The Sky Pride of the Silver Tribe screamed in horror. You can't kill me. I'm from the Silver Tribe. We're the uncrowned kings. If you kill me, the Silver Tribe won't let me off. Lin Xian sneered. This kind of threat doesn't affect me. You'd better come up with some other reason. Otherwise, I won't let you off. You're courting death. At this moment there was a roar. In the distance, the headless corpse charged over again. 2 silver spears appeared in his hands and pierced through the void. They turned into silver dragons and descended from the sky, trying to save the head. This was an all-out attack. He had even used the power of his bloodline. However, it was shattered by Lin Xian's punch. The 9 Suns' divine fist directly smashed the headless corpse into pieces. What other tricks do you have? Use them now. Otherwise, you won't have a chance. Lin Xian said indifferently. The divine fire on his body spread, and his palm was covered with a terrifying divine light. It was like a sun. No. Damn it. The Sky Pride of the Silver Tribe was in despair. He didn't have any trump cards to use now. Even if he used them, he probably wouldn't be able to hurt Lin Xian. That was because Lin Xian didn't use any superpower pills. He was beaten to the point where he couldn't fight back, with just his physical strength. Just as he was about to be engulfed by the 9 Suns' divine fire, a majestic voice came from the sky. Junior, let go of him or die. The voice was like thunder, accompanied by thousands of silver lights that turned into sharp swords that descended from the sky. They shrouded Lin Xian. However, as soon as the silver lights descended, Lin Xian sneered and grabbed the Sky Pride of the Silver Tribe's Sky Pride's head, crushing it into pieces. The soul screamed and tried to escape, but Lin Xian flicked out a sword light and destroyed it. The sword light of the great dragon sword soul could destroy the void, let alone the opponent's soul. What? His soul is destroyed. The archaic Sky Pride was terrified. The archaic creatures were so scared that they pissed their pants. What kind of technique is this? He directly killed the Sky Pride of the Silver Tribe. It was too terrifying. In the sky, the expert who suddenly appeared also roared. You're courting death. Following his fury, the silver sword light that filled the sky transformed into a terrifying rain of swords. It was like a meteor that descended from the sky. Boom! Boom! The void cracked open, and the entire ancient city shook. This was too terrifying. Were they going to destroy the entire city? The martial artists inside were terrified. It had been more than a year since something like this had happened. Who would have thought that after Lin Xian came out, such a shocking battle would occur again? If the city was destroyed, all of them would be killed. Lin Xian snorted coldly. He did not dodge, because if he did, the city would be affected. Therefore he waved his fist and charged forward. Boom! The 9 Suns' divine fist was unleashed with an imposing aura. It was as if thousands of suns were soaring into the sky. It collided with the silver light that filled the sky, causing the heavens to collapse and the earth to split. The void turned into nothingness, spreading in all directions. Those who were slightly weaker directly fainted from the shock. Those who were stronger also felt their chi and blood churn. Fortunately, the fist wasn't aimed at them. Just the aftermath of the energy was already too much for them to handle. If they were hit by the energy, no one would be able to stop it. After the attack, the silver light that filled the sky disappeared, and the 9 Suns' divine fist also slowly dissipated in the sky. Lin Xian stood with his hands behind his back. His eyes turned into sharp swords that pierced through the void. Who's that? How dare you attack me? He frowned. The other party was very powerful, surpassing the sky pride of the Silver Tribe. Could it be that an even more terrifying archaic sky pride has descended? He frowned. The others also looked at the sky. In the next moment they were extremely shocked. An archaic king. That's right. In the sky, the clouds churned and a figure appeared. It was a silver-white god of war. He was tall and held a silver scythe in his hand. He looked like a god-fiend with a murderous aura. He quickly descended. Damn brat. How dare you kill the sky pride of the Silver Tribe? I want you dead. He was an archaic king of the Silver Tribe. At this moment, he was emitting a murderous aura. The human powerhouses were filled with fear. Heavens, it's the archaic king of the Silver Tribe. He's a true invincible king. His strength is absolutely heaven-defying. Lin Xian is probably in danger. Isn't there the archaic Treaty of Alliance? Archaic powerhouses are not allowed to attack? The human cultivators exclaimed. They were worried for Lin Xian. On the opposite side, a sky pride of the Blue Ghoul race sneered. Idiot, the archaic Treaty of Alliance states that saints are not allowed to attack. However, an archaic king was in existence below the saints. Naturally he could attack. If there's someone to blame, blame that brat for being too idiotic. He actually dared to kill a sky pride of the Silver Tribe. In their opinion, Lin Xian was dead meat. Although the other party was a sky pride of the younger generation, how could he defeat a true archaic king? Seeing that it was the other party's archaic king, Lin Xian also sneered with a trace of disdain in his eyes. Who did I think it was? So it's an archaic king. Hurry up and get lost. I've killed at least 800 people like you. Indeed, when he had fused with the greater success divine body, he could turn countless archaic kings into blood mist with a single glance. Therefore, what he said was true. However, the other party's archaic king was so angry that he vomited blood. His expression was cold. Brat, you're too arrogant. Do you think that you still have a greater success divine body? I admit that you were very powerful during the darkness turmoil. You could kill everything with a single glance. But now, you're just an ordinary member of the younger generation. Without a greater success divine body, killing you is like slaughtering a dog. You still want to kill me? Do you have the ability? Lin Xian shouted coldly, and took a step forward. His 9-yang divine body emitted light. The divine fire transformed into fire dragons that intertwined on his body. Not only that, but there were also dragon roars and sword cries in his body. Terrifying sword energy pierced through the clouds. Powerful strength was displayed. How terrifying! Lin Xian actually had such terrifying strength. Everyone was terrified. They discovered that the power Lin Xian displayed now was much stronger than before. In other words, the other party didn't use his full strength at all. Heavens, he didn't use his full strength, but he was able to kill the Silver Clan's prodigy in one move. If he used his full strength, how terrifying would it be? Could it be that he can really contend against an archaic king? They didn't dare to imagine. In the sky, the Silver Clan's archaic king also frowned. He had to admit that the other party was very powerful. His aura was beyond his expectations. No wonder he could kill the Silver Clan's prodigy. But so what? No matter how strong the other party was, he was no match for him. He definitely had to kill the other party. Therefore, in the next moment he snorted coldly. Murderous intent surged from his body, turning into a killing god domain that suppressed downward. I'm not afraid of you. Lin Xian shouted coldly. Endless flames condensed, forming a flame sword that he held in his hand. Chapter 2897. Just as the battle was about to break out, a thunderous voice sounded. Stop. In Watermoon City, a few figures quickly rose into the air and arrived nearby in an instant. They arrived in the air and blocked Lin Xian and the Silver Race's primordial king. The 3 people who came out were the invincible kings of the human race. They were here to stop the battle. Seeing this scene, the human race cultivators heaved a sigh of relief, while the primordial elites snorted coldly. Especially the Silver Race's primordial king. His voice was cold. You dare to stop me? He frowned. You dare to stop me? Die. It had to be said that the Silver Race's primordial king was too domineering. He didn't put the human invincible kings in his eyes at all. The human invincible kings also had gloomy expressions. The atmosphere was tense to the extreme. Lin Xian waved his hand. Everyone, don't worry about me. I'll stand with him. His face was also cold. The other party was too arrogant. Did they really think that he was easy to bully? After the dark turmoil last time, his strength had increased greatly. The 9 young divine body was now at the small success stage. It was definitely not something that the other party could underestimate. The other party actually dared to provoke him today. He would let the other party know the consequences of provoking him. When these words came out, everyone was stunned. Lin Xian actually wanted to fight the primordial king? Heavens, this was too shocking. One had to know. Lin Xian was no longer in the large success stage divine body, but with his own strength. Fighting the primordial king head-on was definitely not an ordinary battle strength. The primordial king was even stronger than the invincible kings of the human race. Moreover, the other party's bloodline power was extremely terrifying. It was very difficult for ordinary young geniuses to challenge someone of a higher level. But now Lin Xian was so determined. Could it be that he really had the strength to fight against the primordial king? Even the 10,000 ancient races were dumbfounded. Soon they sneered. This kid really didn't know what was good for him. That's right, he was probably blinded by anger. Who did he think he was? Was he still in the large success stage divine body? These people sneered disdainfully. In the sky, the 3 invincible kings of the human race frowned. The silver race's primordial king sneered. What a reckless brat. Since you want to challenge me, I'll fulfill your wish. He looked towards the 3 invincible kings of the human race. You heard it. He was the one who took the initiative to fight with me. Why aren't you scramming? He took a step forward, and the murderous aura on his body surged. It was as if it had turned into a vast silver ocean that swept over from all directions. Damn it! The 3 invincible kings of the human clan also roared furiously and launched terrifying attacks one after another. The attacks of the 2 sides collided, devouring the sky and splitting the earth. After that attack, they did not continue to attack. Instead, they turned to look at Lin Xian. You really want to attack? Lin Xian nodded firmly. However, the 3 unrivaled kings still frowned. They said, since you all want to fight, then we can fight. However, Hall Master Lin was from the younger generation after all. Why not set the time limit of 10 moves? Lin Xian was the benefactor of the entire human race, who had stopped the great chaos of the dark world. These 3 invincible kings naturally didn't want anything to happen to him. However, given the current situation, they had no choice but to fight. Therefore, they set the time limit of 10 moves. Thinking about it, Lin Xian should be able to resist them. Alright, as you wish. The primordial king of the silver race revealed a sinister smile. Not to mention 10 moves, he could kill the other party in 1 move. Therefore, he didn't care at all. Lin Xian also nodded. In the next moment, the 3 invincible kings of the human race swayed and quickly retreated to the side. The surrounding immemorial creatures and humans also retreated. The array formation of Water Moon City was activated. Countless runes densely packed together and covered the surroundings. Kid, you're too reckless. Do you really think you can fight against me? The primordial king's eyes were filled with killing intent. Today I will personally send you to hell. Hell? Lin Xian sneered. I'm afraid you don't have the right. You're courting death. Hearing this, the primordial king of the silver race trembled with anger. He roared angrily, and the silver light on his body scattered. A huge hand came crashing down in front of him, covering the sky and covering the earth. Buzz Lin Xian didn't stand on ceremony. He used the 9 young divine body and punched out. His arm was like a true dragon, moving freely in the sky. His palm turned into a dragon's head. It was extremely terrifying. Boom! With 1 strike, 10,000 lightning bolts descended, and Lin Xian took 3 steps back. After removing the force, the array formation under his feet cracked. In the sky, the silver palm was blocked and slowly dissipated. He blocked it. He actually blocked the attack of the Silver Pearl Primordial King? Heavens, this kid's strength is too terrifying, right? The 9 young divine body. His 9 young divine body must have become stronger. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to block it. This kid is too abnormal. Exclamations sounded one after another. They didn't expect Lin Xian's physique to be so strong. One had to know that the Silver Race Group 1 was the uncrowned king. Their primordial king was extremely powerful. Moreover, the physique of the Silver Race was also very terrifying. The Silver Body was famous. Now Lin Xian was able to fight against an invincible king with his physical body. This was absolutely shocking. Sure enough, the face of the Silver Race's primordial king was terrifyingly gloomy. Lin Xian's mouth raised into a smile. The Silver Body was only SSO. Do you dare to compete with me in pure physical strength? As soon as these words came out, the eyes of the three invincible kings of the human race lit up. It seemed that this kid wasn't stupid. Indeed, in terms of cultivation, the Silver Race's primordial king was definitely stronger. However, in terms of pure physical strength, it might not be the case. After all, Lin Xian cultivated the Nine-Yang divine body, a terrifying physique that had been lost. Perhaps he could really block the attack of the Silver Race's King Taigu. Humph! The Silver Race Group 1's primordial king snorted coldly. Kid, since you're courting death, I'll fulfill your wish. Do you think you can compete with me in terms of pure physical strength? To be honest, even if he didn't use his divine ability. So what if he used pure physical strength? He was still confident that he could defeat his opponent. Is that so? Next, I'll let you know what it means to have an invincible physical body. Lin Xian's mouth raised into a sneer. Now that his Nine-Yang divine body had reached the small success stage, it could be said that in terms of pure physical strength, he was very terrifying. Even if his opponent was an invincible king and had a silver body, he might not be able to compete with him. In the next moment, his arm was like a dragon as he attacked again. 5 fingers like a mountain descending from the sky. You're courting death. Seeing that his opponent dared to take the initiative to attack, the Silver Race's king was furious. His white hair fluttered, and silver runes shone around him. Accompanied by his fist, he blasted forward. Boom! Boom! In the sky, the sound of an intense collision rang out. The void was torn open one after another. 2 moves, 3 moves, 10 moves. After 3 consecutive punches, the crowd was shocked again and again. Lin Xian's physical strength was indeed comparable to the Silver Race's invincible king. Chapter 2898. On the other hand, the humans heaved a sigh of relief. From the looks of it, it shouldn't be a problem to withstand 10 moves. However, they still underestimated Lin Xian. What Lin Xian wanted was not only to withstand the other party's attack. Buzz! At the 5th move, Lin Xian roared, and the Nine-Yang divine body emitted an even more resplendent light. With a wave of his palm, the sky collapsed and the earth cracked. Nothing could withstand it. Bang! This palm slapped towards the other party's head. A terrifying golden light shot into the sky, vast and mighty, pressing down on those people until they couldn't breathe. The Nine-Yang divine palm was incomparably terrifying, as if a peerless god of war had descended from the sky. Do you think I'm afraid of you? Silver Fist! The Silver Clan's primordial king also snorted coldly and waved his fist. How could he lose to the other party in terms of physical strength? However, in the next moment his expression changed. This collision actually caused cracks to appear on his arm. Silver blood dripped into the void. He was injured. The Silver King's palm actually cracked. Damn it, how is this possible? Everyone was stupefied. The Silver King even let out a miserable cry. He was stupefied, not daring to believe what he was seeing. Impossible, how could I be injured? With a furious roar, silver light flickered quickly, completely enveloping his arm and recovering. However, in the next moment, Lin Xian's attack came again. The golden beast's palm covered the sky and the earth, blasting towards the other party's head. Damn it! The Silver King was completely enraged. He raised his arm again to block. Dang! At this moment, the bones in his arm also cracked, and blood burst out again. Lin Xian sneered. Killing me is easy. Today, I'll tear your mouth apart. He was indeed angry, so he didn't hold back at all. The Nine-Yang divine palm opened and closed, quickly blasting out one palm after another. The other party's arm was broken and deformed. In the end, the palm directly slapped the other party's face. With a crack, the other party's teeth were completely shattered, and half of his face was deformed. His body spun in the sky and blasted on the array formation in the distance. With a bang, the array formation shattered, and the Silver Clan's primordial king fell to the ground, vomiting blood continuously. Everyone was stunned. They couldn't believe it. In a contest of pure physical strength, the primeval king of the Argent clan had actually lost. Could it be that the 9 young divine body was so terrifying? Or could it be that Lin Xian had already reached an extremely high level? He didn't know. The Archean prodigies were all stunned. Even the invincible kings were shocked. Lin Xian sneered. Was this the pride of the Silver Clan? You're nothing in front of me. You dare to be arrogant in front of me, with such little capital? Old bastard. The fact that you can exchange 10 moves with me is the result of your hundreds and thousands of years of cultivation. If you were from the younger generation, I could kill you with one slap. Lin Xian shouted coldly without any trace of politeness. Hearing those words, the archaic king of the Baiying clan spurted blood once more. He roared at the sky, his silver hair fluttering in the wind. The light on his body soared into the sky. Damn brat, I'll definitely kill you. With a roar, a terrifying silver phantom appeared on his body. The entire ground was cracking, and the formation couldn't be controlled and would shatter at any time. Divine ability. At this moment, the primeval king of the Baiying clan finally used his divine ability. He wanted to kill the other party at all costs. Seeing this scene, the 3 invincible kings of the human race had a change of expression. The 3 of them quickly attacked and landed. You said that you want use your divine ability. Moreover, 10 moves have passed, you can't attack anymore. They wouldn't allow the other party to use his divine ability here. Otherwise, the entire Water Moon City would be destroyed. You dare to control me? Get lost. The Silver King was completely crazy. What agreement of 10 moves? What not allowing the use of divine ability? He didn't care at all. He must kill this brat in front of him. However, these 3 invincible kings of the human race weren't to be trifled with either. They also counterattacked quickly. For a time, a shocking collision erupted again, and the formation was torn apart. This was the primeval king? He didn't keep his word. Really, he wanted to risk his life because he couldn't win. How shameless. Do you want to film us saints to bully you? The surrounding human race martial artists were also angry. They felt that they were indeed angry. The other party didn't keep his word. He couldn't afford to lose. Lin Xian also snorted coldly. Why couldn't afford to play? Want to compete with me in divine ability? However, not here. Let's go to the ancient arena to fight. Lin Xian wasn't afraid at all. He knew that this kind of giant city had a martial arts arena left behind from ancient times. It was specially used for powerhouses to compete. Fighting there wouldn't destroy the entire city. As soon as these words came out, everyone was shocked. Lin Xian, was he really going to fight the other party to the death? In terms of divine ability, could Lin Xian really contend with it? They didn't know. However, Lin Xian was really too domineering now, making these human race martial artists' blood boil. On the other side, the Silver King was so angry that he vomited blood. To be honest, he was already embarrassed enough now. However, he couldn't care so much anymore. He wanted to kill the other party. However, at this moment, a voice came from the void. 14th uncle, why are you angry with him? Doesn't he want to fight? I'll fight him fair and square. When the voice came out, it resounded between heaven and earth with a mysterious and unfathomable power. Hearing this, the primordial king of the Silver Clan stopped. The others also frowned. Who was this person? So powerful. Could it be that another powerhouse of the Silver Clan had come? The other primordial elites were also shocked. It was him. Had he come out of seclusion? Who are you? Lin Xian also frowned and looked at the sky. In the sky, countless rays of silver light appeared, forming a hazy figure standing there. Looking at the other party's appearance, he seemed to be a young man. My name is Bai Qianshan, and am from the younger generation of the Silver Clan. You dared to kill my brother and humiliate the Silver Clan. I won't let you go. I'm from the younger generation. I'm not bullying you if I fight you fair and square, right? The young man's voice was cold. Lin Xian sneered. A young genius of the Silver Clan? Get over here. and he'll suppress you with one hand. The golden light on his body shot up into the sky like a peerless demon. Kid, you're arrogant, but you'll regret it. My strength is not something that my stupid brother can compare to. You can fight me if you want, but not now. 1 month. 1 month later, we'll have a fair fight. I'll kill you with my own hands. After talking for so long, you still can't come out. Lin Xian sneered. Fine, I'll wait for you for a month then. 1 month later, I'll take your head in front of the whole world. At the end of his words, 2 rays of light shot out from his eyes and turned into a golden dragon that shot up into the sky. The silver figure was smashed into pieces. Everyone was shocked. It seemed that the person who came out was an even more terrifying genius of the Silver Clan. However, it seemed that Lin Xian was not afraid at all. In fact, he smashed the other party's phantom directly. After doing all this, Lin Xian stared at the primordial king of the Silver Clan and said coldly, Old thing, be more polite when you see me in the future. Chapter 2899. Kid, keep being stubborn. The primordial king of the Baiyin tribe was trembling with anger. However, since the prodigy of their tribe had decided to make a move on him a month later, no matter what, he would not make a move. Kid, I'll let you jump around for another month. After a month, you'll die a horrible death. After saying that, the primordial king of the Baiyin tribe left quickly. Light flickered on his face as his broken face and missing teeth grew back. He did not dare to stay here any longer. Otherwise, he would go crazy from anger. Phew! He was finally gone. The humans heaved a sigh of relief. A terrifying primordial king had left just like that. Lin Xian was really strong. Yes, he dared to fight the primordial king head-on, without being at a disadvantage. He even slapped the king of Thailand. How domineering. Do you still want to continue fighting? After seeing the primordial king of the Baiyin tribe leave, Lin Xian looked at the surrounding prodigies. Those prodigies froze. What kind of joke is this? Continue fighting? The other party was so strong that they would not dare to make a move even if they were beaten to death. Therefore those prodigies snorted. Kid, I'll see how you die in a month's time. That's right. Just you wait. You'll definitely be killed. Those prodigies also said a few words and left quickly. You're leaving just like that? Do you want to stew all of you? Bring more companions next time. Otherwise, there won't be enough to eat. The dark red divine dragon stood behind them and waved its dragon claws as it spoke. Hearing that, those primordial creatures almost fell from the sky. They hurriedly fled. Damn, he's a terrifying glutton. He even dared to eat the corpses of dragons, let alone theirs. After seeing all the primordial creatures leave, the humans heaved a sigh of relief. Many of them cheered. God Lin Xian, you're amazing. God is mighty. God Lin Xian, I have some questions about cultivation. Can I ask you? Many people were envious. She was very nervous, and the light on her body flickered, showing her uneasiness. Lin Xian smiled and nodded. Sure, if you have any problems, as long as I can help you, I will. That's great. The woman hurriedly asked some questions about the sword technique. She said that from the 13th sword to the 14th sword, I couldn't turn it well. Guru Lin Xian, can you help me take a look? After going through the selection process, he began to give pointers. The route was a little slow, and the timing was also not right. You can change your route 2 seconds in advance. After hearing this, the pretty girl gave it a try. Sure enough, he found that his speed and strength had increased. This is great. Guru Lin Xian, thank you. The girl was very excited. It was the same for the others. It was as if they had been injected with chicken blood. They screamed crazily seeking guidance. After about 2 hours, Lin Xian and the others left. Which martial artists liked it very much. Great God Lin Xian was so approachable. That's right. As one of the top 5 geniuses, he actually gave us pointers. The guru was too powerful. He could see through our problems at a glance. From now on, I will be a firm follower of Guru Lin Xian. These people were all influenced by Lin Xian. Lin Xian was powerful, protected the human race, and had a good personality. He was even willing to give them pointers. He was simply a perfect top genius. Let's go. Lin Xian smiled and said, we can walk around Water Moon City. I remember that there are a few ancient stone workshops in Watermoon City. We can go and cut a few stones." Hearing this, the dark red divine dragon was interested. The followers behind him were also very excited. I heard that apart from being powerful, Guru Lin Xian is also an expert in spirit seeking. I remember that the people of the Mophead family were all defeated by Guru Lin Xian. These people were discussing animatedly. Finally, they could broaden their horizons again. Lin Xian walked forward. The Mystic Stones Pavilion was a very large ancient stone workshop. It had the support of the Great Xia dynasty and the Nine Li dynasty behind it. It could be said to be very famous. Seeing a group of people walking over, the elders in the Mystic Stones Pavilion also walked out. When they saw Lin Xian, they all bowed and greeted him. The two elders were very polite. Lin Xian nodded slightly and walked forward. His gaze swept across those strange stones. He pointed at a square stone and said, "How much is this?" This square stone was about 1/2 meter tall. It was covered in moss and looked very ordinary. However, Lin Xian hit the nail on the head. The others also discussed, wanting to see the secret behind it. Guru Lin has protected the human race and repelled the Dark Rebellion. We can't be more grateful. Why would we take your money? How about this? We'll give this stone to Guru Lin. That's not very good. Lin Xian shook his head. Elder Zhang said, "It's nothing. If it weren't for Guru Lin, we would have become slaves of the 10,000 ancient races by now. Giving you a stone is really not enough to express our gratitude. I hope Guru Lin doesn't mind." All right then. Seeing that the other party insisted, Lin Xian couldn't refuse anymore. He waved his hand, and the square stone came in front of him. He used his fingers like a knife, and his fingers were like lightning as he quickly cut it. Pieces of stone skin were torn off and fell down. When it was cut to the size of a football, the sky immediately flickered with light. There's really something. I told you Lin Xian is so powerful. How could he be wrong? Previously, they saw that the stone was too ordinary and thought that Lin Xian had chosen the wrong one. However, now it seemed that Lin Xian had his reasons for choosing this stone. The guru was indeed a guru. More and more light filled the sky, and even the air became hot. Everyone activated their king's domains to protect themselves. What is this thing? It's too terrifying. Yeah, why do I feel like it's a flame? It's too hot. Even the expressions of the two elders changed. To be honest, they didn't pay much attention to the stone before. In their opinion, even if there was something in the stone, it wouldn't be anything good. However, at this moment, they realized that they were wrong. There was definitely a wondrous treasure inside. Otherwise, it wouldn't be able to emit such light and aura. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes and patiently cut the stone bit by bit. After the last cut, a roar sounded. A red flaming bird soared into the sky and bloomed with divine light. Then, it disappeared from the world. Is that a phoenix? No, it's not a phoenix. It's a vermilion bird, a terrifying divine beast. Could it be a vermilion bird inside? They were extremely surprised. Soon they saw clearly that it wasn't a vermilion bird. The two elders also exclaimed, "What's that?" "The vermilion bird stone." Indeed, there was a fist-sized stone inside. It was as red as blood, and had a scorching temperature. The vermilion bird stone was a stone that contained a strange flame. It was said to be related to the vermilion bird, and was very rare. It could be said that even invincible kings would be jealous of it. Chapter 2900. He didn't expect that Lin Xian would be able to cut out such a precious item from the stone. Lin Xian was also very satisfied. Vermilion bird stone. Not bad, not bad. I just happened to need this kind of fire tribute item. If he wanted to cultivate the 9-yang divine body, he would probably have to find a few kinds of strange flames in the world to refine it. Only then would he be able to continue cultivating the 9-yang divine body. This vermilion bird stone contained a kind of flame. Perhaps it could be refined into vermilion bird fire. It was indeed beneficial for him to cultivate the 9-yang divine body. Not only the 9-yang divine body, but the power inside could also improve the great dragon sword soul. Therefore, Lin Xian flipped his palm and accepted it without hesitation. However, after thinking about it, he raised his head and said to the two elders, The third stone in the row in front, the round stone over there, and the stone with 9 holes under my feet. Be careful. There might be something incredible inside. What? Incredible? The 2 elders were shocked. Then, their faces were filled with gratitude. Thank you for your reminder, Hall Master Lin. They were simply too excited. After all, they had already witnessed Lin Xian's capabilities. He could cut out the vermilion bird stone with a casual glance. The 3 stones that he reminded them of must be very precious. It was definitely not inferior to the vermilion bird stone. It seemed that they had done the right thing by giving Lin Xian a stone. Next, Lin Xian didn't make any more moves. Instead, he left the Mystic Stone Pavilion and walked towards another place. Along the way, he encountered elixir shops and weapon shops. In short, everyone wanted to invite him over. Some people even gave him elixirs and weapons to thank him. After all, Lin Xian had saved the entire human race. Awesome, this feeling was just too awesome. The dark red divine dragon was also very excited. Because he followed Lin Xian, he was also treated very well. Lin Xian was very humble. This was because he was originally a member of the human race. Therefore, it was his duty to protect the human race. Moreover, he wasn't the only one who stopped the Darkness faction's chaos that day. His father Lin Zhan, Xia Juyo, Wine Lord, Demon Lord, Life Saintess, and the Blue Sword Sage. All of them were involved. Even the saints of the Great Sage's sects had put in some effort. Therefore, he could not take all the credit for himself. However, he had indeed made a great contribution. The gratitude of the humans towards him made him feel very warm. Lin Xian glanced at Ruffian Dragon. Ruffian Dragon was extremely excited. What? Did it feel good to be respected by others? Do you want to have this feeling forever? Of course he wanted to, but he probably wouldn't have the chance in the future. The 10,000 ancient races weren't fools. They definitely wouldn't allow another dark upheaval to occur in the near future. The dark red divine dragon asked with a puzzled expression. Lin Xian laughed. What do you mean by instigating a dark upheaval? You're a mystical dragon after all. The dragon blood flowing in your body isn't any weaker than that of a true dragon. I reckon that you can at least compete with that dragon crown prince. Should he kill the dragon prince? We will unify the dragons, and then lead the dragons to unify the 10,000 ancient races. Hearing this, the dark red divine dragon was shocked. Kid, I didn't expect you to have such ambitions and ideas. Although I like it, it's definitely impossible. If we kill the dragon prince, the entire nest of 10,000 dragons would probably go crazy. At that time, they would probably carry extreme weapons and hunt us down all over the world. The dark red divine dragon didn't want to do such a foolish thing. I was just suggesting an idea. But there's actually something that you're afraid of. Lin Xian laughed. At the same time he said doubtfully, I'm very curious. Logically speaking, the nest of 10,000 dragons should be the gathering place of all dragons. But you don't belong to the nest of 10,000 dragons. Moreover, you're not sealed. Then where did you come from? What about the people of the mystical dragon bloodline? Don't tell me you're the only one left. Also, what's the relationship between the mystical dragon bloodline and the nest of 10,000 dragons? Haven't you thought about these? Lin Xian asked. The dark red divine dragon sighed. I don't know. I don't have any memories of this. The dark red divine dragon really didn't know. He also didn't know what relationship he had with the nest of 10,000 dragons. As for the mystical dragon bloodline, it seemed that he was the only one who knew. Lin Xian continued to ask. Then, other than the nest of 10,000 dragons and the mystical dragons, are there any other dragons? How did you guys split them? He wasn't very clear about the branches of the dragons. The dark red divine dragon said, there must be many, but most of them belong to the nest of 10,000 dragons. Maybe my mystical dragon bloodline used to belong to the nest of 10,000 dragons. But I don't know why we came out. The dark red divine dragon wasn't too clear about this. Lin Xian said, it's not a big deal. Don't worry, we can still kill the dragon prince if there's a chance. His eyes shone brightly, and the people around him felt their scalps go numb. However, Lin Xian didn't explain anything. He knew that he wanted to march towards the path of the great emperor, and the other party's dragon prince would definitely take this path too. Both sides would definitely have a fight in the future. Only one person could survive. So to him, killing the Dragon Crown Prince was imperative. More importantly, the dark red divine dragon wasn't weaker than the Dragon Prince. The great dragon sword soul in his body was also related to the dragons. Moreover, it was rumored that the great dragon sword soul was transformed from an ancestral dragon, and its level was probably much higher than the Dragon Prince. It might even be stronger than the Dragon Emperor. Therefore, Lin Xian's idea of attacking the nest of 10,000 dragons, or even the entire dragons, wasn't just wishful thinking. However, this matter would have to be done slowly. At least, with his current strength, it wasn't enough to fight against the entire nest of 10,000 dragons. While Lin Xian was strolling around Watermoon City, in another place. This was a clean land with fiery red mountain peaks densely packed together. There were many volcanoes erupting, and the magma was very terrifying. It could even turn an invincible king into ashes. This was the place where the Fire Qilin Cave existed. At this moment, the ancient kings and sages in the Fire Qilin Cave were extremely nervous. In front of them stood a young man in a flame robe. The young man had a handsome face and fair skin like a woman. Flames burned on his body. On his body, there was the mark of a fire Qilin that covered half of his body. He was very mighty and extraordinary. His identity was shocking, because he was the son of the Qilin Emperor, the Qilin Crown Prince. His status and bloodline weren't any weaker than the Dragon Prince of the Dragons. Beside him, divine crystal fragments were scattered all over the ground. Obviously, this Qilin Crown Prince had just broken out of the seal of the divine crystal. Sure enough, countless ancient creatures knelt in front of him, greeting the Qilin Crown Prince. Get up. The Qilin Crown Prince was expressionless. The Qilin pattern on his body was swaying and shining. It was as if he had come to life. With a wave of his hand, all the ancient creatures were dragged up. Crown Prince, you have just recovered and are still very weak. We have already prepared the three-colored divine fire. You can recuperate inside. Chapter 2901. In the deep pit, 3 balls of flames were dancing and intertwining with each other, emitting a terrifying aura. However, the Qilin race was born for sex. The more powerful the flame, the more energy it could provide them. Therefore, the Qilin Crown Prince nodded and waved his hand. The 3-colored divine flame enveloped him. All right, I'll cultivate for a while. The Qilin Crown Prince said in a deep voice. There's one more thing that my father told me when he sealed me. When I break out of the seal, it will be the time for Sky Flame City to descend. Heavenly Flame City was a mysterious city. It contained incomparably terrifying flames. Even great emperors were unable to completely see through its secrets. I won't go to Sky Flame City this time, but there's something inside that you must bring out for me. Don't worry, Crown Prince, we'll arrange it. Hearing this, the Qilin Crown Prince nodded. There's no need to keep this news a secret. It's best to let the whole world know. Let the 10,000 ancient races and the human race enter. This is my father's intention. Yes, we know. Although the ancient saints were confused, they knew that the Qilin King must have his reasons for doing so. Although the Qilin King had been dead for tens of thousands of years, the other parties' arrangements were still exquisite. They had to obey. Above the endless 9 heavens, the void cracked open. Countless flames danced and a huge shadow fell. It was as if the entire world was going to collapse. At this moment, all the living beings in the true spirit world sensed it. Whether it was the 10,000 ancient races or the human race, they all looked up at the sky with fear. Especially the human race, they screamed. No way could it be that the ancient race's army is coming again? This scene was extremely similar to a year ago, when the 10,000 ancient races launched the dark turmoil. What's going on? Even the elders, sect masters, and holy sovereigns of the various holy lands raised their heads to watch. Their gazes turned into lightning, piercing through the void. In the Watermoon City, the human race martial artists held their breaths as their scalps went numb. Not good, run, the dark army is coming again. Damn it, the darkness is moving. Is it going to happen again? The Crimson God was shocked. Damn, it can't be for real, right? Wasn't it just killing a few of their sky prides? It wasn't like they hadn't killed human sky prides before. Lin Xian also frowned. This shouldn't be the case. What were the 10,000 ancient races doing? Could it be that they really wanted to start a war? Damn it, there are still some primeval life forms in this city, right? If there really is a dark rebellion, I'll beat them to death first. Many human warriors gritted their teeth in anger. There were still some ancient creatures left in Watermoon City. At this moment, they were also dumbfounded. That's not right. It's none of our business. It's impossible for us to have a great dark upheaval. This is not our aura. They roared crazily. As expected, golden runes appeared in Lin Xian's eyes, as he looked up with his heavenly secret divine eyes. He said, "Everyone, don't be rash. This is not the dark turmoil of the ancient creatures. It should be something else." The moment these words came out, the martial artists in Watermoon City felt much more at ease. In other places, the sacred leaders and sect masters also spoke out to calm the martial artists of their holy lands. On the other side, the 10,000 ancient races were also shocked. What was going on? What had happened? They all thought that the human race had attacked. However, after looking for a long time, they realized that it wasn't the human race but a huge city. It was an incomparably huge city that stretched as far as the eye could see. Heavens, is this an immortal palace? Did it fall from the sky? They were incomparably excited. The human warriors were also amazed. Could it be the legendary Southern Heavenly Gate and Heavenly Court? That was something from myths and legends. In the nest of 10,000 dragons, amidst the endless dragon aura, the dragon prince opened his eyes. His body was stronger than before. It was obvious that his strength was increasing. He was growing rapidly. At this moment, a hint of shock appeared in his golden eyes. Sky Flame City, it actually appeared. What Sky Flame City appeared? The primeval sages were extremely shocked. They had heard that Sky Flame City was incomparably mysterious. Even their dragon emperor couldn't see through it. One could imagine how mysterious it was. There were many terrifying treasures inside, and it was said that Sky Flame City had an incomparably strange sky flame. This kind of flame was an incomparably mysterious energy. If one could refine it, it would definitely increase one's strength. One had to know that they had many fire dragons on their side. Even if they were useless, it was very good for tempering one's physique. Therefore, the primeval creatures in the nest of 10,000 dragons were excited. Not only that, but the divine phoenix ridge was the same. A beautiful woman opened her eyes. Her beautiful eyes flickered with a strange light. Beside her was a strange five-colored flame that formed a pair of wings that wrapped around her body. Only a hazy figure was left behind. She was the princess of the divine phoenix ridge, the daughter left behind by the immortal phoenix. Sky Flame City. It was actually Sky Flame City. They must obtain the sky flame inside. Princess, don't worry, we will do our best to obtain it. In addition, the people in the Fire Qilin cave were even more excited. The ancient emperor's speculation was right. After their Qilin crown prince broke the seal, Sky Flame City descended. It seemed that that thing was destined to belong to them. In addition to the 3 royal families, the other primeval royal families, and other primeval races, were also extremely excited. As long as they could enter the legendary and mysterious Sky Flame City, they would definitely be able to obtain heaven-defying treasures. For a time, the 10,000 ancient races were ready to make a move. The humans were also in an uproar. The Yi family, Gu family, Queen Mother of the West, and the others were also flipping through ancient books and asking the saints and elders in the group. Finally, they also learned. This was the legendary Sky Flame City. There might be a strange treasure inside. For a time, the humans were also excited. In Watermoon City, Lin Xian activated the array formation and transmitted his voice to Li Xuanxian, the chief guardian, and the others. He was asking about this matter. Soon he narrowed his eyes. From the array formation, he learned that the city was called Sky Flame City. It was an incomparably mysterious existence. Rumor had it that there was an incomparably terrifying sky flame inside. Its power was boundless. Sky Flame. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. He was really looking forward to it. To be honest, he originally needed some strange flames to temper his 9 yang divine body. He didn't expect that after he had just obtained the vermilion bird stone, another sky flame city would appear. Moreover, there was a rumored mysterious sky flame inside. If he could enter, his 9-yang divine body would be able to improve rapidly. It could even increase the power of the great dragon sword soul. This was killing many birds with one stone. How could he not be moved? The world was abuzz with discussion. Lin Xian was also preparing to return to the Immortal Palace to discuss with the Chief Guardian, Elder Li, and the others. Chapter 2902. The dark red divine dragon began to set up an array formation. The two of them tore through the void and teleported away from Watermoon City. They returned to Immortal Palace. At the same time, the sages of Fire Qilin Cave also began to work together to spread the news. After all, the ancient emperor had already deduced this matter, so they knew a little more. They first contacted the nest of 10,000 dragons and Divine Phoenix Ridge, and the 3 ancient royal families joined forces to advance together. Of course, this time, Fire Qilin Cave also contacted the Yi family, Gu family, Jade Lake Sacred Ground, and other top sacred grounds of the human race. They joined forces with them. This scene surprised the Gu family and the Yi family. When did these 10,000 ancient races become so kind? Could it be that there was a trap? Who cares? They would make contact with the other party first. The Yi family, Gu family, and the Queen Mother of the West discussed and decided to take a look. Not only these sacred grounds, but all the sacred grounds and sects were alarmed. Eastern Wilderness, Western Desert, Southern Ridge, Northern Plains, Middle Ground, and all the major factions came out together to explore. Immortal Palace was no exception. However, this matter was left to Li Xuanxian, the Chief Guardian, and the others. Lin Xian decided to absorb the energy in the vermilion bird stone first. After all, entering Heavenly Flame City would definitely be unavoidable. At that time, there would be a shocking battle. It was more important to increase his strength first. Moreover, he did not forget that he still had a battle with the top prodigy of the silver race in a month. Lin Xian currently had 35,000 Archean power in his normal state. If he fully unleashed his 9-yang divine body and great dragon sword soul, he could reach 40,000 Archean power. Lin Xian formed a hand seal and channeled the flames in the vermilion bird stone, turning it into a vermilion bird phantom that devoured him. As for him, he used the cultivation method of the 9-yang divine body and began to cultivate. At the same time, a mysterious dragon-shaped sword shadow flew out of his body and stood in the void, absorbing the energy as well. After 10 days, Lin Xian opened his eyes. The fist-sized vermilion bird stone was dim and covered in cracks. When the last bit of energy was absorbed, the vermilion bird stone turned into a useless rock with a bang and water fell to the ground. Lin Xian ignored him and opened his eyes. He felt his power, and a smile appeared on his face. This was great. His power of the ancient era had increased by 1,000 strands. Even though it was only 1,000 units of Archean power, even the top geniuses would have to spend a lot of time and effort to increase their Archean power. He might even have to go into seclusion for a year, consume some heavenly treasures, or make a breakthrough in a top-notch divine ability. It could be said that this was not a simple matter. Now that Lin Xian had absorbed the vermilion bird stone, the power of his great dragon sword soul and 9-yang divine body had increased. In a mere 10 days, his power of the Archean era had increased by 1,000, and his strength had become tyrannical once again. What's going on outside? Lin Xian asked after coming out of seclusion. The Fire Qilin Cave has joined forces with the Divine Phoenix Ridge, the nest of 10,000 dragons, and the royal clan to join forces with the great sects of the sacred lands on our side to investigate Heaven Flame City. One of the elders quickly reported. Upon hearing this, Lin Xian frowned. Explore the 10,000 ancient races together? Since when did the other party become so kind? Why did he not dare to think about it? There couldn't be a trap, right? The dark red divine dragon beside him also said that it was probably a trap to kill us. We were also very suspicious, but we still went forward. At present, it seemed that there were no traps. The elder quickly said, "How long would it take to open?" Lin Xian asked. Even if there was a trap, he had to go in and obtain the legendary Heaven Flame. It would take about a month or two. According to the powerhouses of the Fire Qilin Cave, the descent of Heaven Flame City was unstable, and they had to wait until it stabilized before they could enter. It seemed that the Fire Qilin Cave knew more. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. Indeed, it seemed that the nest of 10,000 dragons and the Divine Emperor Ridge did not know as much as them. The elder also nodded. This news came from Li Xuanxian, the chief guardian, and the others. Interesting. I want to see what this Fire Qilin Cave is up to, Lin Xian said. Continue to pay attention. When it opens, let me know. Yes. The elder nodded respectfully, and then turned to leave. Lin Xian's eyes flickered. There were still more than 10 days before the battle with the guy from the Silver Clan. Peacock. He shouted coldly again. The void in front of him broke open, and a beautiful woman knelt on the ground with one knee. Palace Master. How was the investigation of Bai Qianshan? How was his strength? It had been investigated. He was a peerless genius of the Silver Clan. He was very powerful, and it was said that he was the 10th generation grandson. The power of his bloodline was extremely terrifying. 10th generation grandson? What the hell? Lin Xian frowned. He had only been in seclusion for 10 days, and there was a new title. Peacock quickly explained that Bai Qianshan was the 10th generation grandson of the Silver Clan's old ancestor. In short, he was the 10th generation grandson. This old ancestor was an extremely terrifying existence in the Sage realm. So his 10th generation grandson had terrifying bloodline power. So that was it. Seeing that Peacock was hesitating, Lin Xian asked, "Is there anything else?" "Say it." Peacock nodded and said quickly, "It was like this. 3 days ago, Bai Qianshan came out of seclusion. He challenged an invincible king of the human race, who was a swordsman. He was called the Wild Swordsman King, and his strength was extremely terrifying. His Wild Swordsman King could destroy heaven and earth. He was also very famous among the invincible kings. However, he was easily defeated by Bai Qianshan. That battle could be said to be very tragic. The Wild Swordsman King was almost beaten up." Hearing this, Lin Xian raised his eyebrows and asked, "What was the strength of the Wild Swordsman King?" "About 30,000 Archean force." 30,000 Archean force was indeed quite impressive. However, what surprised him was that Bai Qianshan was able to beat up an invincible king with 30,000 Archean force. This meant that his strength was at least 33,000 Archean force. At least it was higher. Lin Xian nodded slightly. "I hope he won't disappoint me." "Palace Master, there is one more thing," Peacock continued. Lin Xian was surprised. "What is it?" "Say it." "It's like this. Today, Bai Qianshan challenged an eminent monk of the Western Desert. It was said that this eminent monk was stronger than the Wild Swordsman King. According to calculations, his strength had reached 35,000 Archean force. 35,000 Archean force. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes, and a piercing sword light bloomed in his eyes. Currently in his normal state, he only had 36,000 Archean force. In other words, this eminent monk of the Western Desert was about the same as him in his normal state. Did he go to the Western Desert to fight? Can you use a formation to teleport the battle here? Lin Xian asked in a deep voice. Yes, Palace Master. I'll send someone to prepare it. Peacock's figure flashed, and like a ghost, she disappeared into the void. Not long after, a light screen appeared above the starry hall. It was very large, and it covered the entire space. Lin Xian and the dark red divine dragon looked up at the sky. On the light screen, the sky was filled with yellow sand, and countless Buddhist lights were shining. There were also temples standing tall. Chapter 2903. There were countless people around. They should be the martial artists who had gone to the Western Desert to watch the battle. Of course, there were also many Archean creatures. The most eye-catching were two people. One of them was an old monk in a kasaya. His face was calm, and there was no sadness or joy. He wore a string of Buddhist beads around his neck, and a string of Buddhist beads in his hand. He was slowly turning them. Opposite him was a tall young man. His body was covered in silver light, forming a monstrous armor that covered the sky. He looked like a god fiend. The aura emitted from his body seemed to be able to suppress the world. He should be Bai Qianshan, the 10th generation grandson of the primordial ancestor of the Silver Tribe. Old monk, I advise you to surrender obediently and admit defeat. If you do, I can spare your life. In front of him, the silver god of war, Bai Qianshan said coldly. Around him, the void was rapidly collapsing. How dare you? Who do you think you are to ask our elder to surrender? That's right. My martial uncle is powerful. How can he lose to you? The old monk was an eminent monk of the Putua temple. At this moment, the monks of the Putua temple all shouted angrily. Amitba, young benefactor, show us what you've got. The eminent monk Pushun also shouted in a deep voice. Old man, since you want to die, don't blame me. Bai Qianshan took a step forward, and the aura on his body suddenly burst out. Silver runes spun around him, forming 360 vortexes that crazily absorbed the surrounding spiritual energy. Die! With a roar, a silver fist punched out. The 360 vortexes jumped together, and a terrifying and violent power surged forward. What a terrifying fist! What a terrifying power! The martial artists who were watching the battle trembled. In front of the starry hall, Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. This fist contained at least 30,000 arcane force. This Bai Qianshan was really impressive. A casual attack was so terrifying. He was not the only one. The other sacred grounds and sects were also watching through the array formation. When the older generation powerhouses saw this scene, they could not help but tremble. A casual punch could kill an ordinary invincible king. Bai Qianshan's strength had become stronger again. It was rumored that he was the 10th generation grandson. Was he already so terrifying? If he was the 2nd generation or the 1st generation grandson, how terrifying would he be? The talents and bloodlines of the 10,000 ancient races are too heaven-defying. It's not easy for the human race to grow. These elders felt their scalps go numb. Fortunately, the 10,000 ancient races had all gone into hibernation during the primordial era. Otherwise, the human race would probably still be their slaves. Facing this shocking punch, Pu Shan's eyelids twitched slightly. Although the other party was young, his strength was too terrifying. Wang! He roared angrily. An endless Buddhist light burst out from his eyes. A large hand reached out. Symbols flickered in the sky, forming a golden mountain that slammed forward. This scene also caused the human race cultivators to exclaim in surprise. This was because the power of the Buddha's palm was not the slightest bit weaker than the silver fist. However, the experts of the older generation sighed. This was because Pu Shan was an invincible king of the older generation, who had lived for nearly 2,000 years. Although this Bai Qianshan was also someone from the primordial era, he had been sealed in ice all this time. His true age was very young, probably not more than 100 years old. However, the two of them were actually evenly matched. This meant that their opponent's talent and bloodline far surpassed Pu Shan's. This was not something worthy of celebration. The golden palm and the silver fist collided in the sky, setting off a storm that filled the sky. The surrounding crowd quickly retreated, their faces filled with horror. This shocking battle was too powerful. Amitba! Pu Shan chanted Buddhist scriptures again. The golden palm flashed, as if it was going to seal the silver fist. Old man, you still want to seal me? Go to hell! Stars in the sky. Bai Qianshan let out a long roar. The silver light on his body was incomparably dazzling. It turned into one huge star after another in the sky, bringing with it a terrifying power as it fell from the sky. It slammed into the golden palm and pierced through it. What? It broke. It broke the Buddha's palm. The martial artists were shocked, especially the monks. Their faces were filled with horror. The golden palm was incomparably powerful. It was impossible to break it. It was called the Buddha's hand. But now it was broken into pieces by the other party. They could not believe it. Damn it! Has the other party become so strong? They felt a chill in their hearts. The powerhouses from the sacred grounds who were watching the battle from afar were also shocked. Lin Xian also narrowed his eyes. That attack just now should be the other party's ultimate move. It was very powerful. It seemed that the other party had the right to be arrogant. Flower blooms. Pu Shan roared. Behind him, Endless Buddhist light rolled and condensed into a Buddhist flower. The Buddhist flower was extremely pure, like an immortal flower from the immortal world. Open. With a roar, the golden flower slowly spread out. Accompanying it was a terrifying aura that seemed to tear the whole world apart. The surrounding people's hearts beat wildly, and their faces changed drastically. Not good. Retreat quickly. This was a Buddhist grand magic. The martial artists and primordial creatures who were watching the battle fled madly. The surrounding void was quickly shattered. It could not withstand the power of the flower at all. Boom! Boom! In the sky, countless silver stars exploded with a loud bang. Bai Qianshan's pupil shrank. He did not expect the old monk to have such a grand magic. If the golden flower fully bloomed, it would pose a threat to his life. Get lost! In the next moment he roared. Silver Spear Rage God! Go to hell! The vast silver stars turned into a silver domain. This was the other party's king domain. The silver domain spun rapidly and formed a silver spear. It was like the spear of a god descending from the sky. With one strike, the mountains and rivers shattered and the earth cracked. A huge crack that was tens of thousands of miles wide appeared in the void, and it was still spreading into the distance. This spear was too terrifying. Its target was the golden flower behind Pu Shan. The golden flower had a total of 6 petals. At this moment, 3 of them had already bloomed. The shocking power had already shocked everyone. Even Bai Qianshan had to treat it seriously. When the 4th petal bloomed, the silver spear finally collided with the golden flower. The 2 of them exploded with destructive energy. Not good. Pu Shan's pupil shrank. A hint of shock appeared in his eyes. This spear was too terrifying. It actually shook his golden flower. The golden flower was condensed by his king domain, and it was a super grand magic of the Buddhist sect. When all 6 petals bloomed, it could definitely destroy everything. However, he had only bloomed the 4th flower. There were still 2 more. With a roar, he continued to use the Buddhist Dharma to make the 5th petal bloom. An even more terrifying power came from the golden flower, causing everyone to be terrified. Chapter 2904. The Fury God was slashing. In the next moment, countless silver runes flashed in his body, and an even more terrifying power burst out. Then a silver shadow rose from his body. It was a few hundred feet tall. It turned into a silver giant. With a roar, it grabbed the long spear formed by the king's domain. Kill! An astonishing murderous aura burst out, and its power increased explosively. Not good. The power of the bloodline. This was the power of the bloodline of the 10th generation grandson. It was too terrifying. The surrounding human martial artists screamed crazily. The monks of Putua Temple also exclaimed, "Elder, be careful!" The primordial being of the Argent clan revealed a sinister smile. It was useless. Once the power of the 10th generation grandson's bloodline was activated, no one could stop it. How could that old man possibly block such a powerful attack? Boom! Boom! The Fury God's roar was earth-shattering. The golden flower behind the Bodhisattva began to crack. Then it exploded, turned into spiritual energy and dissipated. Pu Shan kept retreating, vomiting blood. A few cracks also appeared on his body. It was very terrifying. Blood flowed down his cracks and dyed his body red. He was injured. Pu Shan was injured. Everyone was horrified. They did not expect that such a terrifying Buddhist monk would be injured. Could it be that Pu Shan was going to be defeated? Pu Shan also roared angrily. A golden will rushed out of his body and spun rapidly like a sun. However, Bai Qianshan laughed sinisterly. Ha 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 ha, old monk, you don't have a chance. From the moment you met me, you were destined to lose. Now kneel in front of me and admit defeat. Following his words, the silver giant in the sky held the Fury God's spear in his hand and attacked again. The spear blasted the golden wheel away and pierced through Pu Shan's body. Poof! He was nailed to the ground. Clang! The golden wheel fell to the ground, and blood dyed the ground red. The Buddhist light in the sky disappeared. No! Elder! The monks of Putua Temple screamed crazily. They could not accept that their elder, an invincible king, had been defeated by the other party. Moreover, he was seriously injured. The other martial artists who were watching the battle were also shocked. Many of them were so frightened that they almost fainted. He was too powerful. Although the other party was from the younger generation, he had defeated many invincible kings. The experts of the great sage sect were also shocked. Lin Xian also narrowed his eyes. The archaic creatures sneered again and again. With just this bit of strength, you want to compete with us? Humans, you're just lucky. If it weren't for the accident last time, this world would have long been ruled by us. Even if we coexist now, you are still no match for us. It won't be long before you'll have to crawl at our feet. Damn it, let's fight. Many monks of Putua Temple shouted angrily. 16 of them quickly rushed out. The Buddhist light in each of their hands transformed into a golden rod, forming an Arhat formation. Since he dared to injure my elder, let's suppress him together. The young man in the lead was Putua Temple's holy son. He took the lead to set up the Arhat formation. Within the formation, an Arhat rose from the ground. It was also several hundred feet tall. The golden staff in his hand smashed towards the silver giant. With a boom, the silver giant's body emitted an earth-shattering sound, and the silver light dimmed. On the other side, Bai Qianshan looked ferocious. Ignorant ants, you've completely angered me. Raging deity roar. With a roar, the silver spear turned into a silver dragon again, and directly pierced through the Arhat. The spear fell, and the Arhat formation was shattered. The 16 Putua Temple geniuses vomited blood, and were sent flying. Ants will always be ants. Do you think that with so many ants, you can shake a dragon? How laughable! Bai Qianshan snorted coldly, and the silver giant returned to his body. The spears that filled the sky also turned into a king's domain, and were put away by him. In this life, you will be trampled under my feet, and you won't be able to raise your heads. I won't kill you because the taste of defeat is worse than death. Bai Qianshan sneered, turned around and stepped into the air. Let's go and find the next opponent. When the archaic creatures heard this, they hurriedly followed. The last archaean creature turned his head, and sneered at the human race ancient martial art practitioner, who was in a daze. Humans, get ready to crawl under our feet. Ha 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 ha. At this moment, everyone fell silent. He was too strong. Even a powerful monk like Pushun had been defeated. How many people could be a match for him? Most likely, only a peak-level genius like Leaf Dao Denier would be able to stand up to him. As for the older generation, perhaps only the most terrifying elders could subdue him. Damn it, the 10,000 archaic races were really sick. The Silver Clan was not a royal family, but a royal family. How could they produce such a terrifying figure? Many people gritted their teeth, unable to accept this. Some people sighed. There was nothing they could do about it. Bai Qianshan had a good life. After all, he had a powerful bloodline, and was a 10th-generation grandchild. With such a bloodline inheritance, even if he did not cultivate it, he would probably be a peerless powerhouse in the future. Moreover, he was only a 10th-generation grandchild. Who knew how terrifying the first-generation grandchild would be? Don't say any more. I'm about to despair. Don't forget that there are still princes and princesses among the 3 royal families. Those are the descendants of the great emperors. Their bloodlines are even more terrifying. They will probably become saints as soon as they are born. These people shook their heads and sighed, their faces filled with despair. Facing the 10,000 archaic races, they felt a strong sense of powerlessness. Some people exclaimed, "If I remember correctly, Bai Qianshan will probably fight with Lin Xian in a few days." Now that you mention it, I really do remember. Back then, Lin Xian had killed Bai Qianshan's younger brother in a domineering manner. Bai Qianshan would definitely not let the matter rest. I wonder if Lin Xian will be able to contend against him. Definitely. He is our middle emperor, one of the top geniuses. He will definitely be able to contend against him. Not necessarily. Many people were pessimistic. Even Pushun's 35,000 archaic power couldn't defeat Bai Qianshan. They estimated that Bai Qianshan's archaic power should be 38,000 or higher. Lin Xian might not be able to contend against him. Could it be that Lin Xian was going to be defeated? These people's faces were filled with terror. If Lin Xian was defeated, the human race would probably not be able to accept it. After all, Lin Xian was their hope now. He was given the title of Middle Emperor and was one of the top geniuses of the human race. Moreover, during the Darkness era, he had displayed unlimited combat strength and fused with his greater success divine body to suppress the chaos. To them, Lin Xian had become their pride. If Lin Xian was defeated, the impact they would receive would probably be 10 times, or even 100 times greater. Damn it, these guys are too arrogant. I can't help but want to fight them. In the Starry Hall, the dark red divine dragon looked at the light screen and gritted its teeth. What are you so arrogant for? If you have the ability, fight me one-on-one. Chapter 2905. In addition, his bloodline power was also very terrifying. Therefore, the dark red divine dragon was extremely powerful now. Seeing Lin Fan, he was very unhappy. Kid, do you have the confidence to defeat him? This guy is very strong. I wonder if he has any trump cards or tricks up his sleeve. Lin Xian said in a deep voice. However, whether he has any or not, he's not my opponent. I'm thinking, should I kill him directly or suppress him? Kid, you're really domineering. I like you like this. Why don't we go all out and get rid of him? His blood and flesh must be delicious. The dark red divine dragon drooled. Lin Xian rolled his eyes in exasperation. You're a dragon, don't act like a tautai. Let's go. It's about time for us to leave. Lin Xian was ready to leave. The dark red divine dragon howled excitedly. Great, there's a good show to watch. While Lin Xian was making his move, another piece of shocking news came from the Central Plains. A royal elder of the Tai dynasty was also defeated by Bai Qianshan. In an instant, Bai Qianshan's name swept across the entire true spirit world. Everyone was talking about him. Everyone was talking about how scary he was. What was his limit? At the same time, another battle. Everyone was looking at it with anticipation. Because soon, it was the battle between Bai Qianshan and Lin Xian. Lin Xian was one of the top geniuses of the human race. He was titled emperor and had quelled the dark world. It could be said that he had always been the most dazzling genius. Bai Qianshan, on the other hand, had only appeared a month ago. However, he had already challenged several terrifying invincible kings. Until now, he had not been defeated. It could be said that he was a new force to be reckoned with. He was in the limelight now. What kind of sparks would be created when the two of them collided? More importantly, Lin Xian was a genius of the human race, and Bai Qianshan was a genius of the ancient race. The two races already had a grudge against each other. Now that the geniuses of the two races were clashing, it ignited the emotions of both sides. The 10,000 ancient races were even more arrogant. Although the battle hadn't started yet, their taunts were already overwhelming. What Zhonghuang Lin Xian? He couldn't do it. That was because he had relied on his great success divine body to be able to strut around during the great darkness upheaval. Without his great success divine body, he was nothing. Don't think that you can show off just because you killed one of our Silver Tribe's geniuses in Watermoon City. He's still far from that. Our young master Bai Qianshan is the 10th generation descendant. His bloodline power is extremely powerful. It is not something that he can compare with. Your Central Emperor Lin Xian might be strong, but I estimate that his Archean power is only 33,000, at most 35,000. Just like Pu Shan, how could he be a match for our young master Bai Qianshan? Those ancient life forms were clamoring for supremacy. On the side of the human race, everyone was in a state of panic. Indeed, they did not know how strong Lin Xian was. Although Lin Xian had killed a few Archean paragons before, it was just as the other party had said. Lin Xian's Archean power was estimated to be between 33,000 to 35,000. Such a battle strength was already at the top of the younger generation in the human race. Even the invincible monarchs could not compare to him. But now Lin Xian's opponent was the 10th generation descendant of the Silver Tribe. His opponent's battle strength was estimated to be around 38,000. There was a difference of 3,000 Archean power. But this difference was like heaven and earth. It was enough to make people despair. Not to mention 3,000 Archean power. The difference of 1,000 Archean power was huge. Therefore, the human race was very nervous. Among them, Morong Qingqing was very nervous. Master, do you think Big Brother Xian can win? She did not want Lin Xian to lose. The Queen Mother shook her head after hearing this. We don't know. We don't know how much Archean power Lin Xian has reached. However, if it was really 35,000 Archean power, it would be very difficult to win. Even with the Great Dragon Sword Soul and 9 Yang Divine Body. Would it not be enough? Morong Qingqing could not believe it. Her face was pale. The Queen Mother sighed. The 9 Yang Divine Body and Great Dragon Sword Soul were treasures of heaven and earth. But they also needed the strength to use them. Lin Xian wasn't weak. He was already a top-notch genius. It was just that his opponent was too strong. The Queen Mother was not the only one who thought so. The Gu family, Yi family, Daoyi Holy Ground, Tai Dynasty, Grand Xia Dynasty, and all the other sects had the same thought. Perhaps this time, Lin Xian might really be defeated. No way, how could he be defeated? Lin Xian of the Central Emperor had never been defeated since his debut. That was Lin Xian's followers began to counterattack. Lin Xian would definitely not be defeated. Just wait, he would create another miracle. However, such voices were very few and were quickly drowned out. Everyone speculated that Lin Xian's peak combat power was 35,000. This was already the power of the 9 Yang Divine Body and Great Dragon Sword Soul. 35,000 was a number that even invincible kings would look up to. But now it was not enough. Brother Yi, what do you think? Gu Santong came to the Yi family to meet with Yi Wudao. Yi Wudao took a deep breath. It's hard to say. If I were to go against Bai Qianshan, I would be able to win because my strength has undergone a drastic change recently. My holy body has also made a breakthrough. But I wonder what level Brother Lin has reached in his cultivation right now. No way. Gu Santong looked serious. Yi Wudao said. However, he still had some confidence in Brother Lin. Don't forget, he can create miracles every time. Also, did you know that my target is not Bai Qianshan, nor the other primordial geniuses? It's Brother Lin. I feel that only he can be my opponent. Such a person should not be defeated so easily. Hearing Yi Wudao's words, Gu Santong's expression eased a little. Why don't we ask Brother Lin if he is confident? They did not want to guess anymore. Forget it, don't pressure him. Yi Wudao shook his head. Let's watch the battle in 2 days. Alright then. Gu Santong could only sigh. On the other side, Shun Jingqiu crossed the void and came to the Jade Lake Sacred Ground to meet up with Morong Qingqing. Sister Qingqing, will Brother Xian win? Why don't we go and cheer him on? Qiu, I think Brother Xian needs peace at this time. Let's not go. All he had to do was support him silently. As for the other holy sons, holy daughters, the older generation experts, and all the human clan martial artists, they were all in a state of panic. Many people said, why don't we not watch this battle? Yes, it was too heart-wrenching. One of the most dazzling geniuses of the human race had lost. They could not bear the consequences. Many chose not to watch because they could not bear it. The only calm place was the Immortal Palace. This was because Lin Xian did not show any signs of fear. In fact, he even revealed a cold smile. Chapter 2906. Damn it, the Silver Clan is too arrogant. They haven't even fought yet, and they're already walking around the world as the victor? Be careful not to fall too hard when the time comes. Kid, do you want to go out and clear things up? Or do you want to challenge 2 Archean kings as well? The dark red dragon said from the side. He really couldn't take this lying down. Lin Xian waved his hand. No need. I'll let him jump around for 2 more days. In 3 days, it'll be time for the duel. When the time comes, I'll let him know that the higher he stands, the harder he falls. Good kid. I'll beat him back to his original state, when he's at his most arrogant. I like this feeling. The dark red dragon also sneered. The other Immortal Palace cultivators were also full of confidence. 3 days passed quickly. On this day, countless figures gathered at West Mountain in Central Continent. West Mountain was a very famous giant mountain in Central Continent. It was rumored that countless sages had descended here, and it had a mysterious aura. In fact, more than one great emperor had stopped here. Therefore, the aura they left behind was enough to ensure that West Mountain would not be destroyed for tens of thousands of years. Fierce battles broke out several times, but they were still unable to collapse the giant mountain. Therefore, some world-shaking battles were carried out on Mount Shihua. This time, the battle between Lin Xian and Bai Qianshan was also going to be carried out here. Before dawn, the surroundings of West Mountain were crowded with people. They were all there to watch the battle. Of course, some of the elders of the sacred grounds did not come, but they used the array formation to watch. After all, there was no way they would miss such an astonishing battle between the two of them. The void split open, and a golden figure descended. Yi Wudao led the Yi clan cultivators to a mountain peak. Countless people gathered to watch. Look, Eastern Sage is here too. Yi Wudao is here. Yi Wudao is also one of the top geniuses. I wonder how much Archean power he has reached. If he meets Bai Qianshan, will he win? The people began to calculate again. They heard that Yi Wudao and Lin Xian were good friends. If Lin Xian was defeated, would Yi Wudao help him? Another round of discussion rang out. Brother Yi, you're early. The void trembled, and a group of people appeared in the sky again. Even the experts of the older generation did not sense this scene. It was the Gu clan. As expected, Gu Santong came with the Gu clan cultivators. They first greeted Yi Wudao and the others, then landed on a nearby mountain peak. Not long after, the cry of a phoenix and the people of the Jade Lake. Fairy Morong. She and Lin Xian. Hearing this, Shen Qingqiu snorted coldly. Nonsense, Lin Xian Gij will never lose. Defeat or not, it's not up to you to decide. A cold laugh came from the sky. Today, our young master Bai Qianshan is going to break that legend. Why don't you let our young master Bai Qianshan be your middle emperor? You ants, hurry up and kneel at the feet of our young master Bai Qianshan. Maybe when the time comes, our young master will be happy and teach you one or two skills. These ancient creatures did not put the human cultivators in their eyes at all. Damn it, this is too much. The human cultivators gritted their teeth in anger. However, there were also people who sighed. I told you not to come. Bai Qianshan's body was covered in silver light, and he looked like a silver god of war. He landed on the peak of West Mountain. He stood with his hands behind his back, looking down at the world. At this time, an ancient creature snorted. That Lin Xian? Why isn't he here yet? He's courting death. How dare he make our young master Bai Qianshan wait for him? I think he doesn't dare to come. Of course, he knows he's going to lose. Why would he come here to embarrass himself? What a piece of trash. Mockery came one after another. Bai Qianshan also frowned. He looked around. Since he doesn't dare to come, why don't you come out and play with me? His gaze swept across the people below. Those who were stared at by him trembled, feeling as if they were being penetrated. Those invincible kings felt their scalps go numb. They had no choice. The other party was too strong. Ordinary invincible kings were no match for him at all. Even the more powerful invincible kings could not compete with him. Only those top-notch elders would be able to do so. However, those people would not come out so easily. If they failed, they would lose face. Therefore, for a moment, the scene was incomparably silent. This guy is really arrogant. Gu Santong frowned. Why don't we go and play with him? He looked at Yi Wudao. Sure enough, in the sky, Bai Qianshan's gaze was also fixed on Yi Wudao. You're the Eastern Wilderness sacred body, right? I didn't expect you to come too. Well, since that Lin Xian doesn't dare to fight, it's the same to fight with you. A cold light appeared in Bai Qianshan's eyes. On the opposite side, Yi Wudao also snorted coldly. He was very unhappy with the other party's arrogant attitude. Originally, this was Lin Xian's battle, and he did not want to come out. However, since the other party wanted to challenge him, how could he back down? With a cold shout, his golden blood chi surged into the sky, and a terrifying aura spread out. Everyone was shocked. Heavens, are the two sides really going to fight? Originally, they came to watch the battle between the other party and Lin Xian. They did not expect that when Lin Xian did not come, Yi Wudao would fight. Come on. Bai Qianshan waved his hand impatiently. I'll step on you, a sacred body, to intimidate these humans. I originally wanted to find you after killing Lin Xian. I didn't expect this battle to be brought forward. Bai Qianshan's aura became more and more terrifying. Yi Wudao was like a golden giant, shaking heaven and earth. The two were about to fight. However, at that moment, a sword light tore through the void in the sky, blocking the two's auras. I remember that this battle should be mine. In the sky, a figure descended. Lin Xian is here. Lin Xian is finally here. The human martial artists exclaimed, while the ancient creatures narrowed their eyes. You're courting death. You actually dared to come. Just you wait. You're just courting death. They sneered. Yi Wudao retracted his golden blood qi. Brother Lin, you're finally here. Lin Xian turned his head and looked at the other party, revealing a mouthful of white teeth. Leave this battle to me, Brother Yi. Okay, no problem. This was originally your battle. Yi Wudao returned to the mountain peak. Lin Xian turned his head and stared at the other party. You're Bai Qianshan? You're quite arrogant. Boy, you actually dared to come. This is really beyond my expectations. However, whether you come or not, the result will be the same. You will definitely lose. Chapter 2907. Now I'll give you a choice to live. Kneel in front of me obediently and become my slave. If I'm in a good mood, I can teach you 1 or 2 divine abilities. If you dare to resist me, you'll end up very miserably. Perhaps I'll kill you on the spot. Bai Qianshan said arrogantly. You're really arrogant. Lin Xian sneered. Do you think you can show off in front of me just because you've defeated some invincible kings and sky prides? To be honest, you're not qualified. When I fought with your Silver Clan sage, you probably weren't there yet. What Lin Xian was referring to was naturally the dark upheaval a year ago. Hearing this, Bai Qianshan's face darkened. Kid, you really don't know what's good for you. You don't have a phenomenal success divine body now. Also, how dare you kill my brother? I won't forget this grudge. The outcome of fighting with me is death. You'd better think carefully. It's not easy for you to grow to where you are now. It's a pity for a sky pride like you to fall. You'd better obediently become my slave. How about this? You serve me for 1,000 years. After 1,000 years, I'll set you free. How about that? As soon as he said that, all the human martial artists sucked in a breath of cold air. Then they became infuriated. Let the top sky pride of the human race become his slave? What a joke. I'd rather die than agree to that. Damn it, this guy is too arrogant. Lin Xian beat him up. You must slap his face. The human race's followers roared crazily. The archaic sky bridges sneered. They had already estimated that Lin Xian's strongest combat power was only 35,000. Their young master, Bai Qianshan, had 38,000. There was a difference of 3,000 archaic power between the two sides. It was impossible for Bai Qianshan to win. In response to such arrogant words, Lin Xian only stretched out 3 fingers and waved them in front of everyone. Everyone was puzzled. What does he mean? Is Lin Xian going to swear? It seems that this kid has really admitted defeat. The archaic creatures also sneered. On the other side, Bai Qianshan also smiled coldly. That's right. Swear in front of me that you'll chase me forever? I'll grant you your wish, but you have to sign the immemorial master and servant treaty for me. Lin Xian shook his head. I think you're mistaken. I said 3 moves. I can kill you in 3 moves. What? It wasn't an oath but 3 moves. Everyone was dumbfounded. The human martial artists felt their hearts beating wildly. The ancient life forms were even more stunned, unable to believe what they were seeing. What a joke! How terrifying was Bai Qianshan. Those old invincible kings had all been defeated at his feet. But now, Lin Xian actually said that he could defeat his opponent in 3 moves. This was simply a fantasy. Bai Qianshan's face darkened. It was terrifyingly gloomy. He was so angry that he was trembling. The other party actually dared to be so arrogant, saying that he could kill him in 3 moves? What a joke! Not to mention 3 moves. Even if he exchanged 30,000 moves, his opponent wouldn't be able to defeat him. Brat, you will pay for your words and actions. Bai Qianshan was thoroughly enraged. The aura on his body exploded. Rays of silver light, like a silver dragon, completely enveloped him. Stars in the sky. Under the attack, the sky was torn apart. Countless rays of silver light turned into huge stars and fell from the sky. Seeing this, everyone's body trembled. It's here. This was a killing move. Yes, when he was fighting with eminent monk Xiemo, he had used this killing move. It was really terrifying. Would Lin Xian be able to resist it? Everyone was horrified. They did not expect that Bai Qianshan would use such a terrifying killing move right from the start. Lin Xian also made his move. He stretched out his hand, covering the sky and the sun. The 9 suns' divine palm blasted forward. Seeing this, the crowd screamed again because the 9 suns' divine palm was extremely golden. It was very similar to Pu Shan's Buddha's palm. This scene was like a reenactment of the previous battle. Why do I feel like it's similar to the battle with Pu Shan? Yes, could it be that Lin Xian will be defeated like Pu Shan? Don't talk nonsense. Lin Xian's 9 suns' divine body is extremely powerful. He will not be defeated. Everyone discussed spiritedly. Those ancient life forms sneered coldly. Golden palm? It's really familiar. It seems like he won't be able to escape death. In the sky, Bai Qianshan snorted disdainfully. The light on his body bloomed again. Millions of stars rolled down, completely piercing through the void. Soon the two collided. An earth-shattering sound resounded in all directions. The entire sky seemed to be torn apart. Endless energy exploded, covering the entire space. Boom, boom, boom. The ground sank, and the mountains collapsed. Other than West Mountain, which was an incomparably huge mountain, it was intact. The surrounding mountains were all torn apart. The onlookers frantically ran away. Ha ha ha. Brat, I admit that you are very powerful. You are considered the top of the younger generation of the human race. But it's a pity that you met me. How can a human ant like you know the strength of the 10,000 Archean tribes? Bai Qianshan looked down from above. Boom. In the sky, the silver light was torn apart, and the golden uncle appeared again. Golden light shone on his body, and he was not injured at all. Then, he grabbed at Bai Qianshan from all directions. Bai Qianshan's sinister laughter suddenly stopped. Damn it! How could this be? The smile on his face disappeared, and it was replaced by a look of shock. Impossible! His body swayed, and he rushed into the sky. He flashed quickly, trying to dodge the attack. However, this move was too terrifying. It was like the palm of a fiend god, firmly locking him in place. Damn it! Get out of here! Bai Qianshan was furious. He punched out with his silver fist, which also covered the sky and shook the sky. It collided with the golden palm. In the next moment, the void was torn apart again, and Bai Qianshan's body flew backward. Bang! 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 Bai Qianshan smashed more than a dozen mountains in a row before he stopped. Everyone was stunned when they saw this scene. They could not believe it, especially the Archean creatures. Their bodies were cold, and their eyes were filled with fear. Their peerless genius, the 10th generation son Bai Qianshan, was sent flying. How was this possible? The human martial artists were also dumbfounded. This was not what they had expected at all. Lin Xian was really strong. Ha 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 ha. I told you that our god Lin Xian would never be defeated. Just wait and see. He will definitely defeat his opponent. Many people's blood gradually boiled in their hearts. Some of the powerhouses and elders of the sacred grounds also exclaimed. The 9-yang divine body was indeed too powerful. In terms of physique, he could suppress the Silver Clan. Before the crowd could react, Lin Xian strode forward. His body bloomed with light, and like a god of war, he suppressed all directions and sealed the entire space. Chapter 2908. You're courting death, you brat. I'm going to kill you. Bai Qianshan charged out from the rubble. His white hair fluttered in the wind, and killing intent surged from his body. His eyes were blood red, and his handsome face was ferocious. He was pushed back. He was actually sent flying by an ant in his eyes. He couldn't stand it. He had to wash away the humiliation with his opponent's blood. Silver Spear Raging God. With a cold shout, the king's domain rushed out, and turned into a silver spear in the sky. Spiritual energy from all directions quickly gathered. The void couldn't withstand it, and black holes appeared one after another. This scene shocked the crowd once again. They had seen the power of the silver spear with their own eyes. It was incomparably terrifying. It was the same spear that had pierced through the invincible western desert monk Pu Shan. Die! With a furious roar, the silver spear in the sky suddenly stabbed down. Its aura was like a dragon, swallowing the entire void. It charged at Lin Xian crazily. This attack was enough to kill an invincible king. Dodge! On the human side, many people exclaimed. They felt that even if Lin Xian had the 9-yang divine body, he wouldn't be able to contend with this spear. That was because this spear was simply too terrifying. Morong Qingcheng, Shen Jingqiu, and the others were extremely nervous. Yuadeo's face was also solemn. However, Lin Xian didn't dodge at all. He looked at the spear descending from the sky and raised his head, a biting cold light in his eyes. In the next moment, he formed a hand seal and mobilized the great dragon sword soul in his body. Countless sword chi intertwined and quickly condensed behind him, forming a golden flower. What? That's... The martial artists on the human side were stunned. The ancient lifeform side also stared with wide eyes. The monks of the western desert shrieked. The flower blooms. Damn it, how did he know this divine ability? The flower blooms was a western desert Buddhist divine ability. These people were familiar with it because a few days ago, Pu Shan had used it once. But now Lin Xian was using it again. They couldn't believe it. With the great dragon sword soul, he could imitate everything. The older generation experts shrieked, and the others were filled with envy. That's right. How could they forget that Lin Xian still had the great dragon sword soul? Because of this, he was hunted down by countless people. Flowers blooming for a lifetime? In the sky. Bai Qianshan's lips curled into a disdainful smile. Kid, you really are an idiot. It's a pity that the great dragon sword soul is in your hands. Don't worry, after I kill you, I will extract the great dragon sword soul from your body. A sinister smile appeared on his face. This was because if Lin Xian used any other sacred art, he would still be afraid. However, although the simulated blooming flower mystique was powerful, he had destroyed it once not too long ago. Now it wouldn't be difficult to destroy it a second time. Boom! Boom! In the sky, the silver divine spear descended rapidly, wanting to pierce through everything. Pung! Boundless energy exploded, and terrifying silver light surged, completely engulfing Lin Xian. The space in all directions was constantly shattering. Everyone's eyes were wide open. Bai Qianshan looked up to the sky and laughed. Haha kid, go to hell. Those Archean creatures were also ferocious. However, soon in the endless light, a golden light tore through the void, revealing the scene in front of them. What? Bai Qianshan was stunned. Everyone was stunned. The scene in front of them was completely different from what they had imagined. Lin Xian was surrounded by the golden flower cage, but he was unharmed. His face was still calm, but the battle intent in his eyes was getting stronger. He's unharmed? Damn it, how is this possible? That was his ultimate sacred art. Even the powerful Pu Shan couldn't block it. So how could this young man in front of them block it? The second move, Lin Xian opened his mouth, and his voice resounded in all directions. What? Everyone's body stiffened, and their eyes were filled with shock. The second move? Heavens, does this kid really want to kill his opponent in 3 moves? But how is that possible? Now that 2 moves had passed, there was only 1 left. Could Lin Xian defeat his opponent in 1 move? They didn't dare to believe it. Damn it! Bai Qianshan was so angry that he vomited blood. How could his opponent dare to say that he could defeat him in 3 moves? Kid, let's see how you're going to defeat me in 1 move. Bai Qianshan roared, and the bloodline power in his body bloomed. A silver giant rushed out. Raging deity roar. The silver giant stood tall and grabbed the silver spear, and a terrifying aura burst out. Kill! With a roar, the silver spear stabbed forward like a dragon. This time, the attack was much more ferocious than the previous one. So much so that everyone's expression changed. The invincible kings began to tremble. Brother Xian, Shen Jingqiu and Morong Qingcheng's faces were even paler. Yi Wadeo's expression was solemn. His body emitted light, and the world was frozen. To be honest, this spear also posed a great threat to him. He didn't know if Brother Lin could withstand it. Dodge, dodge quickly. Those who were following him roared crazily. They knew that they couldn't take it head-on. It was this move that directly pierced through the invincible monk of the western desert and nailed him to the ground. However, to their shock, Lin Xian still didn't dodge. Looking at the third move, the corner of his mouth raised into a smile. Open! With a light chuckle, the golden flower behind him slowly opened. 6 petals bloomed at the same time. A terrifyingly sharp aura filled the air. The entire void trembled. Everyone was terrified. The weak ones prostrated on the ground, and the strong ones were shocked. Many invincible kings' bodies cracked and blood gushed out. The ancient creatures screamed crazily and knelt on the ground, trembling. Damn it, what is this aura? It's too terrifying. What appeared in the golden flower? They didn't know. At that time, the 6 petals of the bodhisattva had not fully opened, so they didn't know what was inside the petals. However, Lin Xian's golden flower was not a Buddhist skill at all. It was evolved from the dragon sword spirit, who knew what would happen after the 6 petals bloomed. However, they could imagine that it was an extremely terrifying killing move. Even the invincible kings couldn't withstand the aura alone. In the sky, Bai Qianshan's expression changed drastically. He sensed a strong sense of death. Damn it, this is impossible. Destroy! He roared, and the power of his bloodline erupted again. He had to seize the opportunity and not let the other party's 6 petals fully open. The silver spear and the silver giant, which had dimmed because of the 6 petals, burst out with dazzling light again, illuminating the 9 heavens and 10 lands. The spear was like a dragon, and its power skyrocketed. It was over. Lin Xian's expression was calm. He waved his arm, and the 6 golden petals fully opened. Amidst the petals, a golden longsword appeared. As he waved his arm, it shot into the sky. Buzz! Chapter 2909. The void was instantly split in half. The silver spear collided with the golden sword, producing a clanging sound. However, it did not put up any resistance at all. It was torn apart. Whoosh! Poof! The silver giant's huge head was also pierced through. It let out an unwilling roar and dissipated into spiritual energy. No! Damn it! How is this possible? Bai Qianshan screamed crazily. His face was full of shock. His ultimate move, the divine power activated by his bloodline power, was broken by his opponent's sword. He could not believe it at all. In the next moment he was scared out of his wits. That was because the golden sword light was quickly charging toward him and enveloping him in an instant. Damn it! Block it! Bai Qianshan roared. Although the situation was critical, he was still the 10th generation descendant. His strength was so powerful that it made people tremble. How could he not have a backup plan? In an instant, a shield appeared between his eyebrows. He opened his mouth and spat out a silver river that filled the sky in front of him. The armor shone brightly, and in an instant, 3 layers of powerful defense enveloped him. Bai Qianshan heaved a sigh of relief. Great! Now, even if several invincible kings attacked together, they would not be able to break through his defense. Kid, let's see. Poof! Before he could finish his words, a golden sword light directly cut his body in half. The shield, the silver river, and the armor were all useless. Under the sword, everything was turned into ashes. Silver blood splattered all over the sky, and the 2 halves of the corpse fell from the sky. The miserable sound made everyone's scalp tingle. What? He was cut open. These people had gone crazy. The human martial artists exclaimed, and the Archean creatures fainted. Bai Qianshan was cut in half by a sword. How is this possible? At this moment, the elders and even the sect leader, who were watching through the array, twitched their eyelids. They knew Bai Qianshan's strength. With 38,000 Archean power, no one in the younger generation was a match for him. Those older invincible kings did not dare to fight with him rashly. He could be said to be a young demon king, who could sweep through everything. But now he was cut in half by a sword. This scene was too terrifying. Ah, damn kid, I'm going to kill you. Bai Qianshan roared. His body quickly soared into the sky, wanting to heal. Seeing this scene, everyone cried out in alarm. He didn't die, he was just injured. Indeed, it was very difficult to kill such a powerful genius like Bai Qianshan. It was likely that Bai Qianshan would not let his guard down, and he would not go around Lin Xian. The ancient creatures screamed again. Young master, are you all right? Kill him. Young master, you must kill him. They screamed like crazy. Bai Qianshan used his great magic power to heal his body. Lin Xian raised his head and let out a cold harumph. Instantly his body, which was just about to heal, split open once again. Whoosh! Lin Xian appeared in front of him like a shooting star. He stepped out and stomped the other party onto the ground. A sword appeared at his fingertips, and the light was pressed against the other party's forehead. Bai Qianshan's body stiffened, and even his soul began to tremble. He realized that his opponent's sword qi could not only threaten his body, it could even threaten his soul. Damn brat, what do you want? The surrounding ancient life forms screamed crazily and rushed forward. However, they were all sent flying by Lin Xian's palm. The huge palm covered the sky and the earth, sending dozens of ancient creatures flying. Kid, I'm warning you. This is the peerless genius of the Silver Clan. The 10th generation descendant. If you dare to touch him, you're dead. In addition to the ancient creatures, there were many other ancient geniuses who were watching the battle. At this moment, when they saw this scene, they let out a cold harumph. One more word and you'll die. Lin Xian did not pay any attention to these people. With his back facing them, he said something. His voice was like thunder, forming a golden cloud above the ancient geniuses. A terrifying sword shadow appeared. Seeing this scene, the ancient geniuses' eyelids twitched, and they quickly shut their mouths. It was too terrifying. They felt that their lives were in danger. They snorted coldly, and did not say anything. However, there was a sneer in their eyes. If Bai Qianshan really dared to make a move, he would be dead. Sure enough, Bai Qianshan was fearless. Kid, kill me if you have the guts. Let's see if the Silver Clan will let you go. Kill you? Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. You're thinking too much. I remember you once said that death is more painful than death. Failure is worse than death, so don't worry, I won't kill you. I will let you live forever. Forever remember the scene of your failure today. From today onwards, you'll be my defeated opponent for the rest of your life. Lin Xian's voice was like a sharp sword that pierced into Bai Qianshan's heart. Bai Qianshan roared at the sky and screamed crazily. Damn kid, I'm not convinced. Let me go if you dare. Let's fight another 300 rounds. 300 rounds? You can't even block one of my attacks. What are you not convinced about? Lin Xian snorted coldly. Today, I'll make you kneel at my feet. As he said that, he waved his hand and grabbed Bai Qianshan's head. How dare you? Bai Qianshan went crazy. If he really knelt at Lin Xian's feet, he would not be able to live anymore. Die! He roared angrily, and tried to break free from the golden palm. However, endless dragon-shaped sword qi erupted from Lin Xian's palm. It completely sealed his body. Damn it, how is this possible? I can't break free. Bai Qianshan's face was ferocious. Bloodline power burn. Right now, he was willing to pay any price to break free. However, the power of his bloodline was of no use. The great dragon sword soul destroyed everything he had. He could not resist at all. He was pressed to the ground by the golden palm, and kowtowed 10 times. Everyone was stunned by this scene. Oh God, the terrifying Archean prodigy, the 10th generation grandchild, is kowtowing to Lin Xian. This made them feel dizzy. The Archean creatures screamed, especially the Archean creatures from the Silver Clan. They rushed over as if they had gone mad. Damn it, let go of our young master. They had all gone crazy. Bai Qianshan's status was extremely noble. He represented the Silver Clan in the outside world. Now that Bai Qianshan was kowtowing to Lin Xian, did that not mean that the Silver Clan was kowtowing to him? The other party was a human. Why would the Silver Clan kowtow to a human? Therefore, these people did not care about anything else, and rushed over madly. Streaks of silver light danced in the air. Flying swords, sabers, galaxies, and meteorites filled the sky. These Archean creatures activated their divine abilities, and rushed toward Lin Xian, without any regard for their lives. However, Lin Xian destroyed all of them with a punch. Dozens of Archean creatures turned into blood, dyeing the ground red. If you're not afraid of death, come at me. I'll accompany you to the end. Lin Yuxuan's voice was sonorous. He was like a demon god standing on the ground. At this moment, everyone was trembling. The Archean creatures were even trembling. He was too powerful. Killing them was no different from killing ants. Lin Xian said in a clear voice as he looked around disdainfully after shocking everyone with a single punch. Everyone has seen what happened today. I defeated Bai Qianshan in 3 moves. From now on, he won't be able to be arrogant in front of us humans. At the same time, I want to tell everyone that the 10,000 Archean tribes are not scary, and Archean prodigies are nothing. Although we humans don't have a particularly powerful bloodline, we have an invincible heart. We have the belief to reach the peak of martial arts. All of this is our most precious treasure. Without an invincible heart, and the belief to win, what's the point of having a noble bloodline? Lin Xian's words were like a raging fire that ignited the hearts of the surrounding warriors. Chapter 29:10. This little guy was restoring the confidence of the human clan. Yi Jia, the elders of the Gu family, and the Jade Pool nodded in relief when they saw this. The human clan had suffered too many blows and urgently needed someone to restore their confidence. Lin Xian was undoubtedly one of the best candidates. Lin Xian did not have the power of bloodline, but he defeated Bai Qianshan, who had an extremely strong bloodline, and even trampled him under his feet. He made Bai Qianshan kowtow. This was definitely something that made people's blood boil. When they saw the human clan warriors, their eyes were filled with hope and excitement. Lin Xian also smiled. He let go of his hand and threw Bai Qianshan out. Get lost. Lin Xian turned around and walked forward. Behind him, Bai Qianshan regained his freedom, but he was trembling with anger. His face was extremely ferocious. I will definitely kill you. The power of bloodline in his body burned quickly. He opened his mouth and turned into a peerless flying sword. He killed his way out. This was his secret technique. It was a secret technique that he did not hesitate to use. It could kill people above his level, although the consequences of doing so would cause him to be seriously injured and even need to recuperate for a year or 2 to recover. He could not care less. However, he couldn't care less. Only by killing this brat in front of him could he vent the hatred in his heart. Not good. As soon as the flying sword appeared, ghosts wailed and wolves howled. There was even blood-red thunder falling between heaven and earth. One could imagine how fatal this sword was. The elders and experts all cried out in alarm, and the human race martial artists even screamed out loud. Damn it! No! Their hearts were in their throats. Morong Qingqing and Shin Jingqiu also exclaimed, Brother Xian dodge. Brother Lin Xian be careful. All of this happened in an instant. When everyone was exclaiming, the blood-red flying sword had already attacked Lin Xian's back. It wanted to pierce through his body. Clang! Lin Xian did not look back. He stretched out 2 fingers and caught the blood-red flying sword. These 2 fingers were golden and were wrapped in endless dragon-shaped sword qi. They were like 2 giant dragons that grabbed the blood-red flying sword tightly. The blood-red flying sword could not move at all. What? He caught it. This was impossible. The Archean prodigy's eyelids twitched in disbelief. This blood-red killing sword was definitely one of the strongest killing moves. The other party was actually able to block it so easily. Could it be that the other party's strength was far beyond their imagination? I spared your dog life just now, but you actually don't know what's good for you and dare to sneak attack me? Do you really think that I don't dare to be ruthless to you? Lin Xian's cold voice sounded. Then he waved his arm, and the icy blood-colored flying sword flew back at an even faster speed. No! A miserable shriek was heard as Bai Qianshan's body was pushed back again. His abdomen had been pierced through by the blood-red longsword, and he was nailed to the ground. His miserable voice sounded like the roar of a malicious spirit. He wasn't dead. This allowed Bai Qian to heave a sigh of relief, but in the next moment, his face was filled with despair. It was even worse than death. The reason being that his cultivation was crippled. The other party had directly destroyed his spiritual sea and shattered his meridians. This caused his extremely powerful battle prowess to be reduced to nothing. At this moment, he was no different from a mortal. No! Bai Qianshan screamed crazily. He could not accept it at all. One had to know that this was worse than death. That was because he had gone from a peerless genius to an ordinary person in an instant. How could he accept such a huge difference? The others were also stunned. Especially the primordial geniuses. Their faces were filled with shock. The other party had actually crippled Bai Qianshan. The heavens were definitely pierced through. One had to know that Bai Qianshan was the 10th generation descendant. His status was extremely noble. The Silver Clan would definitely not let the kid in front of them go. The evils he brought on himself were the hardest to bear. Lin Xian snorted coldly and ignored Bai Qianshan. He turned around and walked toward Morong Qingqing and Shinjingxiu. Brother Xian. The two women were also excited. They heaved a sigh of relief and threw themselves into Lin Xian's arms. Let's go. It's too chaotic here. Let's find a place to chat. Lin Xian took the two women and soared into the sky. Looking at Lin Xian's back as he left, everyone was shocked. Until now, their minds were still a little blank. That was because the scene that happened just now was too shocking. They needed to digest it properly. Middle ground. In a palace in the Great Xia dynasty, the martial artists of the dynasty were cultivating. One of them opened the palace door and rushed in, causing the other disciples of the royal family to open their eyes. Xia Yu, what's going on? Can't you see that we're cultivating? That's right. By the way, I heard that you went to watch the battle. How was it? Did Lin Xian lose? I told you not to watch such a battle. ITLL only hurt our morale. That's right. Bai Qianshan was too powerful. Even the elders of the royal family could not compete with him. Not to mention Lin Xian. The disciples of the royal family shook their heads and sighed. They did not watch the battle, nor did they use the array formation to watch. That was because they felt that there was nothing to watch in this battle. Lin Xian would definitely lose. Seeing this, he felt stifled. He might as well cultivate in silence. Improving their strength was the way to go. The corner of the royal family disciple named Xia's mouth twitched. He did not say anything. Instead, he threw a disc array on the ground. I won't say anything. Watch for yourselves. What are you looking at? The battle between Lin Xian and Bai Qianshan? You're not deliberately making us lose our appetite, are you? The martial artists of the royal family shook their heads. Xiaoyu said, let's watch it first. Trust me, ITLL definitely subvert your understanding. Will it really subvert our understanding? The disciples of the royal family frowned. Could it be that both sides are tied? Damn, if that's the case, you'll have to watch it. This Lin Xian is quite powerful. Is the human race already able to compete with the 10,000 Archean races? The disciples of the royal family opened the disc array. Countless runes intertwined on it, forming a light screen that recorded the previous battle. A few seconds later, they screamed, damn, how is that possible? Damn it, you didn't make a formation to trick us, did you? The disciples of the royal family all went crazy. Why are you screaming instead of cultivating? At that moment, an elder walked over and frowned. Elder, did you watch today's battle? It was the battle between Lin Xian and Bai Qianshan. One of the disciples of the royal family asked. When the elder heard that, he snorted coldly. What are you looking at? Bai Qianshan is too terrifying. I'm afraid that no one in the human race can compete with him in a short period of time. So you guys should cultivate well. In 100 or 200 years, you might be able to compete with him. Hearing that, the disciples of the royal family in the hall swallowed their saliva. One of the little girls said, Elder, take a look at this. What are you looking at? You guys are getting lazier and lazier. The elder of the royal family was dissatisfied. No, Elder. This is the battle between Lin Xian and Bai Qianshan. However, the result of the battle is somewhat beyond our expectations. Originally, the elder of the royal family refused to watch the battle. However, when he saw the expressions of these disciples, he was also very curious. Forget it. At most, it'll just take a look. Anyway, he'll suffer a little more at most. Chapter 29:11. How could this be? The royal family elder was shocked, because what was shown was completely different from what he had imagined. In his imagination, Lin Xian would definitely not be able to defeat Bai Qianshan. No matter how powerful he was, he would at most be able to contend with him. But now, the array showed that Lin Xian was completely crushing Bai Qianshan. He defeated Bai Qianshan in 3 moves. In the end, he even crippled Bai Qianshan. The royal family elder could not believe it. After a long time, he asked in a trembling voice, "Who gave you the array? Is the information reliable?" Xia Yu hurriedly said, "Elder, this information is definitely reliable." Hearing this, the royal family elder took a deep breath. He knew that they had underestimated Lin Xian. As one of the top geniuses of the human race, Lin Xian was simply too powerful. His strength had probably far exceeded their expectations. Sure enough, at this moment, not only the great Xia dynasty, but all the sacred grounds and sects were shocked. To tell the truth, although this battle was famous, not many people actually went to watch it. That was because they all felt that this was a battle that they would definitely lose. They did not want to watch it. But now, through the recording of the array, they finally saw the complete battle. Everyone was extremely shocked. No way, am I blind? This must be a dream. Damn it, how is this possible? He defeated a genius of the 10,000 Archean tribes in 3 moves. Isn't Bai Qianshan very powerful? He defeated senior monk Xiemo, and is said to be the 10th generation descendant? Why are you so weak? What do you know? Lin Xian is too powerful. It's unbelievable that the human race has such a genius. Will he become the next great emperor of the human race? These people exclaimed. However, there were also people who were worried that Lin Xian would really break the sky. Yes, he actually crippled Bai Qianshan. The Silver Tribe will definitely not let this go. Indeed, Bai Qianshan was the 10th generation descendant of the Silver Tribe. His status was extremely noble. How could the Silver Tribe swallow this insult when he was crippled? They would definitely kill Lin Xian mercilessly. For a moment, everyone was discussing animatedly. While they were excited, they were also full of worry. It wasn't just the great sects of the human race. The 10,000 primordial races also learned of this news. They had also obtained some formations and recorded battle scenes. When they saw Lin Xian kill his opponent in 3 moves, they were all terrified. Damn it, this is impossible. How could this brat be so powerful? It's over, he's dead meat. The Baiyin clan would never let him off. This Lin Xian was really a troublemaker. Let's see how he's going to clean up this mess. A series of cold laughter rang out. Even though these 10,000 ancient race beings were shocked, they knew that Lin Xian was most probably dead this time around. The Silver Thunder clan would definitely be furious. That's right, the Silver Thunder clan was indeed very powerful. They directly mobilized several dozen archaic kings, blotting out the sky and covering the earth to kill Lin Xian. However, Lin Xian had long left. He even brought Morong Qingcheng and Xin Jingqiu back to the Immortal Palace. This caused these archaic kings to miss their target. They couldn't find a way to deal with him at all. These archaic kings were so angry that they vomited blood. However, they still searched crazily. For a time, the figures of the Silver Clan's archaic kings could be seen all over the world. However, after searching for more than 10 days, they still couldn't find Lin Xian. These archaic kings of the Silver Clan could only give up. They swore that the next time Lin Xian appeared, they would definitely capture him and bring him back. This Lin Xian had already grown up. It would probably be difficult to kill him. That's right, this kid was indeed powerful. He had the 9 Yang creation body and the great dragon sword soul. These 2 extremely terrifying trump cards. Perhaps very few people in the younger generation could be compared to him. Not to mention the younger generation, even those invincible kings were not his match. However, if a saint were to make a move, they would definitely be able to kill him easily. But would a saint really dare to make a move? Not to mention the archaic alliance. Just that Xia Jiuyo, who was related to Lin Xian, was probably unrivaled. Don't forget that his father, Lin Zhan, was also an extremely terrifying saint. There was also that wine lord who had the devouring sword. 3 such super saints stood behind Lin Xian. It was likely that saint-level people wouldn't dare to kill him. Otherwise, the clans of those saints would be in danger of being exterminated. There was no need for a sage. In fact, those primordial kings could have killed Lin Xian 7 times. It was just that they didn't have the chance. These people discussed intensely, but gradually, they stopped talking about Lin Xian's matter. Because the aura emitted by Sky River City in the sky was becoming more and more terrifying. It was as if a world of fire had descended. It floated above everyone's heads. The entire sky was dyed red. Everyone was excited because according to the Fire Qilin Cave, they would be able to enter Sky Flame City in a day or two. During this period of time, the legends of Sky Flame City had already spread. Everyone knew that this was an incomparably mysterious city. Even great emperors couldn't see through it. Furthermore, there were countless precious treasures in the city, including the precious Sky Flame. If one could obtain that Sky Flame, it would be equivalent to obtaining a self-strengthening power. After absorbing it, one's strength would definitely undergo an earth-shattering transformation. If a fire-based martialist obtained it, their fire-based mystiques would improve by leaps and bounds. This was a temptation to everyone, especially fire-based martialists. Great! If I can obtain it, my strength will definitely become even stronger. Yuadeo's eyes shone with a cold light. This Sky Flame would also be very helpful for cultivating his sacred body. Sky Flame? It just so happens that the elixir I've been refining recently lacks a mystical flame to assist me. In the Wavering Light Sacred Ground, the Wavering Light Saint's eyes flickered as 108 god fiends revolved around him. Although the Wavering Light Saint didn't have a terrifying bloodline, his strength was incomparably terrifying. He was one of the few people in the eastern wilderness who could be compared to Yi Wudao. Furthermore, he hadn't been defeated in several battles with the primordial geniuses. This let everyone know that the Wavering Light Saint was extraordinary. If I can obtain the Sky Flame, I should be able to refine that weapon of mine. South Mountain Yin family. Yin Nantian also had a look of excitement. Recently, he had been refining a terrifying weapon and had reached the final stage. If he obtained the Sky Flame, he would be able to complete the final upgrade. As for that weapon, once he succeeded in refining it, his strength would also increase exponentially. Therefore this time, he was also determined to obtain it. It wasn't just these human prodigies. The 10,000 Archean races were also incomparably excited. Among them, the Fire Qilin Cave was determined to obtain it because they had received instructions from the Qilin Crown Prince to obtain the Sky Flame. The Phoenix race was also born of desire. They also needed this Sky Flame. In the nest of 10,000 dragons, the Fire Dragon race was even more excited. It could be said that the goal of countless powerhouses and prodigies was all the mysterious Sky Flame. In the Immortal Palace, Lin Xian also stood up. Was Sky Flame City finally going to open? Chapter 29:12. Brother Xian, do you need that mysterious heavenly fire? Morong Qingcheng, who was standing on the side, stood up from his arms. Lin Xian nodded. Indeed, the 9-yang divine body required all kinds of mystical flames. If I can get this heavenly fire, it can improve my 9-yang divine body. Don't worry, Brother Lin Xian. We'll definitely get it for you. Shen Jingqiu, who was standing beside him, waved her little fist and said, "It's about time. Let's go." Lin Xian's eyes shone with a cold light. Qingqing Qiu I'll open the realm gate and send you back to Jade Lake and Purple Dawn Sacred Land. Gather your elders and experts. We'll meet outside Skyfire City. All right. Morong Qingqing nodded. Brother Lin Xian, I'll be back soon. Shen Jingqiu was also reluctant to part. Lin Xian had the dark red dragon open the realm gate and send the two away. Soon, the two figures disappeared into the void. Lin Xian waved his hand and called Lin Xuanxian, the head protector, and the other experts over. They gathered their people and prepared to set off for Skyfire City. It wasn't just a mortal palace. At this moment, whether it was the 10,000 ancient races or the human sacred lands, they were all gathering their geniuses and experts to prepare to set off. In an instant, countless figures moved. A terrifying pressure spread out in the sky, covering the 9 heavens. Apart from the saints, the top geniuses, and the terrifying kings all moved out. Below Skyfire City, figures moved. It was bustling with noise and excitement. Of course, when the human race and the 10,000 ancient races met, they would inevitably clash. Before Skyfire City even began, there were already several fierce battles below. Even Yi Wudao made a move, forcing the Golden Rock Race's geniuses to retreat. "Look, the Silver Race's people are here," someone cried out in surprise. Everyone turned their heads and looked into the distance. The void in the distance tore apart as powerful figures descended from the sky. Silver runes shone on their bodies, suppressing the 9 heavens. After these people descended, they looked around disdainfully. However, some people sneered. "Oh, isn't this the Silver Race? You still have the face to come? I remember your Silver Race's 10th generation descendant. He had just been killed." The person who said this was none other than a martial artist from the Yi family. As a clan of the ancients, they were not afraid of the Silver Clan. The Silver folk were vile, and had dared to provoke Leaf Doudinier. How could they not be mocking and ridiculing him? Yeah, if it were me, I definitely wouldn't come. The disciples of the Gu family also joined in the fun. As a clan of the Huanggu clan, they possessed an extremely great heritage and possessed extreme weapons. Therefore, he was not afraid of this uncrowned king at all. "Do you want to die?" The geniuses from the Silver Clan were so angry that they vomited blood. The piercing sword light in his eyes turned into streaks of rainbows that tore through the void. "Do you think I'm scared of you?" The golden blood chi of the disciples of the Yi family surged. On the other side, the disciples of the Gu family turned into nothingness and attacked the mysterious universe. The atmosphere became tense in an instant. Countless gazes fell on the Silver Clan. The people of the Baiyin clan felt extremely uncomfortable being stared at like this. One of the primordial geniuses snorted coldly. "What's the big deal? That Lin Xian of the human race only used despicable means to sneak up on one of our geniuses. Otherwise, our geniuses wouldn't have bowed to him. That's right. Who does that kid think he is? He can't hide after sneaking up on us. Come out if you dare. The geniuses of the Silver Clan will definitely crush him to death." These people were furious. They hadn't found any trace of Lin Xian in the past few days. Their assassination plan had been for naught. "Keep bragging. Your 10th generation grandchild fund has been crippled." Among the geniuses of the Silver Clan, how many of them are stronger than your 10th generation grandchild? Fortunately, God Lin Xian isn't standing here. Otherwise, you wouldn't even dare to fart. That's right. In front of God Lin Xian, you're just ants. For a moment, the two sides were in a heated argument. At this time, the other primordial races interjected. "Where is that Lin Xian? Tell him to come out if you dare. He's a genius of the Blood Moon clan." "Oh, you still dare to come out now? Aren't you afraid of being killed by a sword? Have you forgotten the taste of the divine Nine-Yang body?" Gu Santong sneered. "The divine Nine-Yang body is strong, but it's not invincible. The battle physique of the War Clan is the true unparalleled battle strength." The people of the War Clan also came. This was one of Lin Xian's old rivals. They had been silent for a while. Who would have thought that this time, with the appearance of Skyfire City, the war race would finally appear? The War Clan used to belong to the 10,000 Archean races, and they were a branch of the Archean royal races. They were very powerful. Their clan's battle physique was said to be unparalleled in battle strength. It could be said that their battle strength was very terrifying. At this moment, when these words came out, the surrounding people all gasped. Even the geniuses of the 10,000 Archean races had serious expressions. The power of the unparalleled battle physique was famous in the past. It was not inferior to the divine Nine-Yang body. Is the battle physique that powerful? I remember back then, you were suppressed by God Lin Xian until you couldn't breathe, right? You still dare to come out now? Lin Xian's followers sneered. No Flower also snorted. The clone of the number 1 genius of the War Clan was killed by Brother Lin. You can't forget this, right? You're courting death. The warriors of the War Clan were so angry that they vomited blood. They were so angry that their teeth itched. Indeed, back then Lin Xian had killed the clone of their number 1 genius. At that time, it had caused a huge uproar and everyone knew about it. They thought that after a period of time, they would have forgotten about it. They did not expect that they would be kicked out again. This was like rubbing salt into their wounds. However, soon, a female disciple of the War Clan snorted. What's the big deal? It's just a clone. This time, the true body of our number one genius will come. No matter how strong that Lin Xian is, why don't you let him come out? Let's see if he still dares to be arrogant in front of our number one genius. What? The number one genius of the war clan was coming out? Everyone was shocked. This was a terrifying enemy, especially the younger generation. It was as if they were facing a great enemy. The other party was definitely a powerful opponent that could not be underestimated. Even Yi Wudao, Gu Santong, the Alcate Saint, and the others frowned. The unparalleled battle physique was indeed very strong. The geniuses of the 10,000 ancient races were also discussing it. Boom! Right at this moment, the void suddenly collapsed. A powerful force suppressed the surroundings, and everyone was sent flying. Even the primordial geniuses and human geniuses used their king domains to resist. Damn it, who is it? So strong. Heavens, this aura is too terrifying. Could it be that the number one genius of the war clan had appeared? Those people exclaimed. However, the faces of those from the war clan were ugly, because they were also affected. This made them realize that it was not their number one genius. Then who was it? Who was so arrogant? Chapter 29:13. Everyone turned their heads to look. Even the older generation figures and invincible kings had eyes that were like rainbows. They also wanted to know who it was. Amidst the endless shattered void, a figure slowly appeared. He was tall and big like a fiend god. His eyes were sharp, and he looked disdainfully. What? It's him! One of the human race elders trembled and exclaimed. The others were also shocked, because they recognized who this person was. Yin Nantian, the peerless genius of the Yin family, the number one genius of the South Ridge, and the person known as the South Emperor. After all, he was just as famous as Lin Xian and Leaf Daodinier. More importantly, it was rumored that he had received the inheritance of a great emperor. This was extremely shocking to everyone. Was it him? The holy sons and holy daughters of the human race were shocked. Yi Wudao and the Alcate holy sons' eyes shone with a cold light, and their bodies were filled with battle intent. The 10,000 ancient races prodigies also had serious expressions. However, a few of them smiled and even went up to greet him. Brother Yin, I didn't expect you to be here. In the past, powerful primordial beings had come to the Yin family and had a secret meeting with the Yin family head and Yin Nantian. To a certain extent, the Yin family and the 10,000 ancient races had formed an alliance. Therefore, the primordial prodigies and Yin Nantian had a cooperative relationship. Hearing this, the human race cultivators were stunned. Their eyes widened in disbelief. What was going on? The primordial prodigies were greeting Yin Nantian, and their attitude was so good. This was too unbelievable. After all, not even top geniuses like Leaf Daodinier, Lin Xian, or Dustless had ever received such treatment. Not to mention the younger generation. Even the elders and sect masters didn't receive such treatment. But now, Yin Nantian was receiving such treatment. It was absolutely unbelievable that so many primordial prodigies were greeting him. Yes, Yin Nantian nodded slightly and landed to the side, ignoring everyone's surprised gazes. What was going on? Was there some relationship between Yin Nantian and these primordial prodigies? Everyone was discussing, and many elders of the sacred grounds were frowning. Looks like the Yin family is more complicated than we thought. They actually have connections with the 10,000 ancient races. Did they betray the human race? One of the elders had an ugly look on his face. Impossible. Did he not want to live anymore? He dared to betray the human race. These people discussed and speculated. Very soon, they exclaimed in shock because there was a supreme expert descending from the sky. When the newcomers arrived, the faces of the archaic creatures darkened, especially those from the Silver tribe. Within the clan, many experts were trembling with anger. A terrifying murderous aura shot up into the sky, as if it wanted to destroy the entire world. That damned brat, he actually came. The humans were also extremely shocked. He actually dared to come here? Wasn't he afraid of the Silver tribe's revenge? What was there to be afraid of? He wasn't alone this time. Who would be a match for him in a one-on-one fight? Do you think Immortal Palace will be afraid of the Buying clan? He thought about Xiaojuyo. After the dark turmoil last time, they knew that Immortal Palace had an extremely terrifying super saint, precisely Xiaojuyo. Someone like that could easily send the great ancestor flying with a slap. Furthermore, he could even catch an imperial armament with his bare hands. With such a person around, who would dare to harm Immortal Palace? Yi Wudao, Gu Santong, No Flower, and the others grinned. Brother Lin, you're here. That's right, it was Lin Xian and his group. Lin Xian descended from the sky with Immortal Palace's experts and walked out of the gate. He looked around. When he saw the archaic creature's unfriendly expressions, he snorted coldly. When he sensed the Silver tribe's murderous aura, he even sneered. The other party wanted to kill him, but how could he not want to kill the 10,000 archaic creatures? He knew that these people wouldn't dare to act recklessly. So what if they did? He wasn't afraid of them. Lin Xian greeted Yi Wudao, Gu Santong, No Flower, and the others with a smile. Then, he met up with Morong Qingqing and Xinjingqiu. Qingqing. Lin Xian walked over. Brat, get over here and accept your death. Frenzied roars rang out. The Silver tribe's members were about to go crazy. From the beginning until now, the other party had only glanced at them once, then ignored them. What was the meaning of this? Ignoring them? They released such a terrifying murderous aura that the entire world trembled. No one dared to ignore them. Whoosh! In an instant, more than 10 archaic creatures descended and surrounded Lin Xian. Terrifying light bloomed from their bodies, and terrifying silver runes lit up the world. It made those martial artists tremble in fear. Sure enough, they attacked. Morong Qingqing and Xinjingqiu's expressions also changed. Lin Xian stopped, turned around and shouted coldly, "If you don't want to die, scram." Following his angry roar, Li Xuanxian, the chief enforcer, and the others also rose, their bodies emitting terrifying light. Saint weapons even appeared, and terrifying saint aura swept through the world. Everyone's expression changed. The Silver tribe's experts also frowned, but they didn't retreat. Using saint weapons? Do you think you're the only ones with saint weapons? They also took out 2 saint weapons. The terrifying aura once again caused the void to crack, and countless cracks appeared. A great battle was about to break out. Suddenly, a few terrifying figures descended. Stop! A monstrous sea of fire spread out as if the god of fire had descended, turning into a fire Qilin. Fire Qilin Cave. The Fire Qilin Cave's people had arrived. Everyone exclaimed. The archaic king of the Silver tribe was also surprised. Great! If the Fire Qilin Cave wanted to help them, they could definitely kill the kid in front of them. But soon their expressions changed. After the Fire Qilin Cave's experts arrived, they didn't help the Silver tribe, but stopped the battle. What was so important that they had to make such a big fuss? An elder of the Fire Qilin Cave frowned. When those words came out, everyone was shocked, and they didn't dare to believe their ears. Heavens! What did that mean? The Fire Qilin Cave's people were here to stop the fight? How was that possible? One had to know that the Fire Qilin Cave was an archaic royal family. How powerful and terrifying was that? Moreover, they were enemies with Lin Xian. It was already good enough that they didn't help the Silver tribe to suppress Lin Xian. But now the other party actually stopped the battle. Not to mention the humans, even the 10,000 archaic races were stunned. Especially the people of the Silver tribe. They were all dumbfounded. This brat crippled our 10th generation grandchild. We must capture him and tear him to shreds. We will make his soul kneel in front of our Silver tribe forever. An archaic king said coldly. Lin Xian sneered. Kneel in front of you? You're courting death. Your grandson was courting death, so I crippled him. If he didn't court death, I wouldn't have bothered to do anything. If you want to make a move on me, go ahead. Whether it's a one-on-one or a group battle, it'll take them all. Chapter 29:14. The people of the Fire Qilin Cave looked displeased. To be honest, they also wanted to kill Lin Xian, and even the entire human race. But they couldn't do it now. If the two sides fought here, it would definitely not be a small battle. They might even use sacred weapons. In the end, even saints might come out. A battle of this level was enough to threaten Sky Flame City. If it affected Sky Flame City, who knew what kind of changes would happen? This time, they were here on the orders of the Qilin Crown Prince. They had to obtain that thing in Sky Flame City. They wouldn't allow Sky Flame City to suffer any losses. Therefore, they wouldn't let the two sides fight in this battle. If there were any grudges, they would settle them after entering Sky Flame City. Yes, they definitely couldn't affect the arrival of Sky Flame City. The powerhouse of the Fire Qilin Cave said coldly. As soon as these words were said, the people of the Nest of 10,000 Dragons and Divine Phoenix Ridge nodded. They also didn't want anything to happen to Sky Flame City at this final juncture. Seeing the three ancient royal families come out to stop them, the people of the Silver Clan gritted their teeth in anger. But there was nothing they could do. Although they were uncrowned kings, they were still far inferior to the real three royal families. Now that the three ancient royal families had joined forces, they could only swallow their anger. Kid, I'll let you live for a while longer. After entering Sky Flame City, I'll teach you a lesson. An ancient king of the Silver Clan snorted coldly. Let's go. They quickly retreated to the side with their men. You should be glad that someone came out to stop them. Otherwise, you would be a bunch of dead people now. Lin Xian snorted coldly. If the Silver Clan dared to make a move, he guaranteed that they would definitely regret it. The Silver Clan was so angry that they vomited blood. Lin Xian waved his hand and asked Li Xuanxian, the chief guardian, and the others to retreat. They came to an empty place and waited quietly. Sky Flame City was about to open. Powerful figures descended one after another. Sacred grounds, sects, and ancient races appeared one after another. All the powerful forces had come. Buzz! In the sky, endless auras filled the air. Powerful combat strength suppressed the surroundings, causing the expressions of these elites to change again. Who was it this time? These people were terrified. Looking at the other party's aura, they weren't inferior to the top elites from before. It's our unparalleled battle body. The war race's people cried out in alarm, their faces filled with excitement. That's right. The one who came this time was their war race's #1 genius. The war race's #1 genius was extremely terrifying. His body flowed with brilliant colors, making it impossible for others to see his true appearance. However, the aura on his body was enough to suppress the 9 heavens. From the looks of it, he wasn't any weaker than the archaic era's prodigies. So powerful. This person's aura was even stronger than Bai Qianshan's. What? You're saying he's even scarier than the 10th generation grandson? That was only natural. The unparalleled combat body was also a famous existence in ancient times. It was definitely not to be underestimated. Most likely, he was also here for the mysterious heavenly flame. These people were extremely shocked. After the #1 prodigy arrived, his gaze swept across all directions. Who is Lin Xian? Get your ass out here. Hearing this, everyone felt their scalps go numb. They looked at Lin Xian in horror. He was here to look for Lin Xian again. Last time, I killed your clone, but I didn't expect you to not learn your lesson. This time your main body is coming to die. If you want to live this time, it won't be so easy. So in front of me, you'd better be obedient. Otherwise, if you anger me, I'll kill you. Lin Xian looked at the other party. He did not stand up. Instead, he said coldly, You're Lin Xian? Hearing the other party's threat, the #1 prodigy's aura became even more terrifying. Come and die. Previously, the other party had killed one of his clones, which made him go crazy. Not only was that a slap to his face, but it also greatly reduced his strength. At that time, he was in seclusion. He had reached a critical juncture in his cultivation, and could not use it. Furthermore, his clone had been defeated, which greatly reduced his strength. Therefore, until the appearance of Heaven Flame City, he had been in seclusion to recover his strength. Fortunately, he was lucky. Finally, before Heaven Flame City opened, not only did he recover his strength, but he also made further progress and improvement. Therefore, the first thing he did when he came out of seclusion was to kill Lin Xian. Kid, aren't you very arrogant? That's right, come out and fight with our number one prodigy. Our number one prodigy can crush you with one hand. No matter how strong you are, you're not a match for our number one prodigy. The warriors of the war tribe roared angrily. They really could not hold it in anymore. Was the number one prodigy that amazing? Wasn't his clone still killed by our great god Lin Xian? That's right, what are you shouting for? Our great god Lin Xian did not make a move, because he wanted to let you live a little longer. Can't you even understand this little bit of mercy? Seriously? Lin Xian's followers also sneered. The number one prodigy snorted coldly. Immediately, everyone did not dare to speak. Thousands of auras hung down from his body, directly shattering the void. Hundreds of thousands of miles of land trembled with his footsteps. Lin Xian, come and fight. Today, I will kill you with my own hands. The human warriors felt their scalps go numb. This Lin Xian was really... They did not know what to say. Lin Xian was strong, but he had provoked too many enemies. Previously it was the Silver Tribe. Now there was the War Tribe. These two tribes were both ancient royal tribes, and were very tyrannical. Could Lin Xian really resist so many people? There are many people who want to kill me. Who do you think you are? Obediently line up at the back. Lin Xian waved his hand disdainfully. So what if you're the number one prodigy? You're courting death. The number one prodigy roared and punched out. The sky full of light condensed, forming a shadow that directly fell with this punch. The entire world trembled. The invincible king screamed in horror. Since you want to die, I'll fulfill your wish now. Lin Xian snorted coldly, and also stood up. His body bloomed with light. An array of sword chi rushed into the sky. Stop. Seeing that the two peerless prodigies were about to fight, the experts of the Fire Qilin cave walked out again. They directly tore the void and swallowed all the energy. Buzz. An old man said in a deep voice. Before Sky Flame City opened, no one was allowed to fight. Otherwise, you will be an enemy of the Fire Qilin cave. You will also be an enemy of the nest of 10,000 dragons, and the Divine Phoenix Ridge. The people of the other two dynasties also stood out. Seeing this scene, everyone was shocked. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes and did not say a word. The number one prodigy of the war tribe also withdrew his hand. Since that's the case, I'll personally kill you after Sky Flame City. With that, he turned around and wanted to leave. Wait, there's no need to go through so much trouble. I'll settle it today, Lin Xian said. What? Everyone was stunned. They thought that things would end like this, but they did not expect Lin Xian to make a move at this time. What was going on? Yi Wudao, Gu Shantong, and the others frowned. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.